Chapter 1, Charlotte's POV. There's a thud, and suddenly I'm awake. It takes me a few minutes to clear the sleep from my brain to find my brother and the recently opened door. Get up. Connor's words are tired. You're going to make us all late for school. But I started to object but was cut off when he roughly grabbed hold of my arm. It's my birthday today, can't I have a little bit of special treatment? My voice lacks conviction. Happy birthday. He tells me, sarcasm dripping from his voice. After a few seconds, his face goes soft, and he loosens his grip on my arm. Now come on. I usually get stuck on kitchen duty, so it's not as though I'm not used to it. It's usually meant to be a punishment of sorts, but it gets shoved upon me. We have wolves that do this as their jobs, of course. But even they need help, so why not get up a bit earlier and arrive at school a bit later? Could be much worse. Stories of wolves being turned into slaves due to simple mistakes and misunderstandings are currently popular topics of discussion. It's so common that the alphas of the larger, kinder packs are discussing putting together a special police force to protect packs from it. The werewolf community is an unforgiving one, I know this firsthand. Having read multiple stories of human romance, I see how simple and risky werewolf life is as well. As a human, you have as many chances as you'd like to fall in love. You don't even have to fall in love to be happy. As a werewolf, your soul is tied to another from the day you're born. One person, one shot, one love. It's the big 16 that marks the finding of your mate. It just so happens that today is my 16th birthday. 15 minutes to get to school. Crap. I put in zero effort into my white v-neck and jeans as I rushed to get there on time. Last year, things had been a lot worse than they are. I got a lot of attention then. The negative kind. Now they ignore me and act like I'm not there. The hallway isn't quite empty, so here's to hoping I'm not late. I'm just about to shut the locker and bolt to homeroom when a force slams into my side, engulfing me in a hug. Kylie, of course. Happy birthday. She thrusts a small bag with way too much tissue paper in it straight into my face. I can't help but laugh at her enthusiasm. A storm of blue tissue paper rains down around me as I try to locate whatever's inside the bag, assuming that she put something there. Sure enough, a box sits at the very bottom. Upon closer examination, it contains a locket, a golden one with gorgeous engravings on the front side of it. A picture of us, which must have been taken almost 5 years ago, sits on one side of it. Didn't I say no presents? Shut up and be thankful. She rolls her eyes. Yeah, thanks. We both laugh and I hug her. No, really. Kylie and I have known each other since we were in diapers. She's always been there and has always been a friend. I'm pretty sure there isn't a club or team in school that she isn't in or on. I'm also pretty sure there's some drug she's discovered to get her up every morning. I was minutes late to homeroom, bombed my math test, and almost murdered someone with my pencil in English. But after all that, there was lunch. Kylie and I find each other in the lunch line and make our way to our table. Nick, Becca, Ben, Maxie, and Andrew. Nick and Becca had been friends before they'd even realized they were mates. Ben, however, had been added to our group when he found Maxie. Andrews has already turned 16, but he hasn't found his mate. Kylie doesn't turn 16 for another 4 months or so. We launched into a deep conversation about some children's television shows that had some creepy-looking characters. We've barely started to discuss non-animated kids shows when a figure bumps into my back. Hard. The fact that this person rammed into me is not the cause for my shock, however. It's the sparks that are furiously tingling throughout my body. Mate, the word throbs in my mind, quickening my heartbeat. This is it. My happily ever after is finally going to start. Turning, I am met with a bewildering sight. Cole. Next in line for Alpha. My brother's best friend. The person looking at me with the same expression I'm looking at him with. Mate. Chapter 2, Cole's POV. Connor laughs at something Tina said, something that I'm sure was not remotely funny. But Connor is as desperate as Tina is hot. Cole. Connor gives me one of the most fake smiles I've seen in my whole life. You know you're my best friend in the entire universe, right? What? He rolls his eyes at my bluntness. He only ever compliments me when he wants something. Can you throw this out? He asks, holding up a soda can and giving me another fake smile. Why don't you do it yourself? I roll my eyes and go back to picking at my apple. I will send the picture of you wearing a dress from the 4th grade to the entire pack. Rick, who is next to me, and Tina are thankfully the only two close enough to hear this monstrous threat. They both laugh so hard that tears are coming out of their eyes. Glaring with as much force as I can, I snatch the can off his tray. I walk down the row of tables to the trash cans, grumbling about my idiotic friends. For some reason, the air seems charged. As I go to sidestep another student, I knock into someone hard. Electricity shoots through my body. I've never felt it before, but I've heard stories about finding one mate my entire life. I turned 16 3 months ago. My mate hadn't been 16 at the time. I could feel it. Now, though, I have her. I turn immediately, eager to see her face. Stunning eyes stare happily up at me. But they're Charlotte's. Charlotte White's. Connor's sisters. This is bad. But it's good too. No, very bad. Before she can object, I grab her arm, trying to ignore the tingling I get as I do, and drag her into the hallway. We stare at each other. You're my mate. Her voice holds excitement, caution, happiness, and terror. I try to stop the wave of joy that follows her words. The pack hates her. I should hate her. Maybe not hate. Maybe not. I shouldn't be thinking like this. This is not something for me to contemplate. But she's so damn gorgeous. Long, brown hair falls to her lower back, and long black lashes frame violet blue eyes. A cute button nose sets off her soft features, and white teeth stand out from the pink of her lips. They look soft. It's all I can do not to kiss her on the spot. How can people hate her? Right, the diary thing. A little while ago, Connor, for some malicious reason, got hold of her diary and put her words everywhere. And I mean everywhere. Internet, posters, mass texts, the whole 9 yards. Her thoughts revealed many hard truths about the school. And people hated her for it. Still do. But so do I. Lies. They would hurt her, though. They couldn't accept her as my mate. Their leader. How can I? No. I owe it to my pack. We aren't mates. We can't be. You can't tell anyone about this. Do you understand? What? The smile slipped from her face, and all I wanted to do was run to her and make it come back. I what? Are you stupid? I'm praying I sound mean. She can't know that I'm having an inner battle. No matter how much I want her, I'm doing what's right for my pack. Or maybe I'm just being selfish. Either way, I think I've said too much to go back now. Are you? She doesn't sound angry, just sad. What did you just say? One mate. That's what you get. Why would you throw that away? She snaps back at me. I just don't think we'd be very good for each other. I say stiffly, please tell me this is a nightmare. Please, if I was anyone else, you'd be all over me right now. But no. I'm little old Charlie, who everyone decided to hate. She looks like she's about to cry. Or slap me. I have to clench my fists to keep my feet planted where they are. We both know what you're doing. You're running from what the pack thinks of you, thinks of me. You're scared. You're a coward. And you're going to be miserably alone. She turns and abruptly makes her way back to the cafeteria. I take a moment to collect myself before following her in. I sit back at my table and bullshit some excuse about needing some air. Out of the corner of my eye, I see a particular person talking to her friends. I can pinpoint the exact second she tells them what happens because 6 sets of eyes turn to glare at me. Charlotte, Charlie is what she goes by, speaks a few hurried words, and they all reluctantly look away from me. I hear a squeal and instinctively look to make sure she's safe. I can't do that. But one of her friends, male, I note with a bit of distaste, is simply squeezing her sides in an attempt to make her laugh. She's such a loser. I hear one of the girls at my table mutter, noticing my gaze. Restraining myself, I respond, yeah, a loser. And right then, I realize how difficult this will be. Chapter 3, Charlie's POV, The Rejection Stings. It wasn't even a rejection. It was a, I don't want you, so bye. My friends and I discussed for the remainder of lunch. We'd argued about it so many times before, but now we've decided actually to do it. Some people will call it wimpy. Some will say I'm hiding. But all I'm doing is trying to let myself grow without the confines of a resentful pack. Usually, leaving without consulting the alpha would be considered desertion and the accused can be sentenced to slavery. However, my friends will explain why I was rejected and I'll leave a note. I can only hope that he'll understand. He's a good man, our alpha. I doubt he knows much about the bullying. Surprisingly, the son he raised has turned out to be such an awful person. I'd thought about talking to him in person, but I can't explain the embarrassment I'd feel trying to explain to the alpha that I'd been rejected by his very own son. The walk home gives me plenty of time to think over my decision. And I can't believe I haven't done this sooner. Paris, France. The perfect place to forget about werewolf problems and live. I've always wanted to go somewhere else, anywhere else, but I had never really wanted to leave anyone behind. My mom used to tuck me into bed with stories of faraway places she'd probably never been. Upon reaching home, I quickly throw a few outfits, some money, and a few other things in a bag. My parents left 2 months ago to help another pack with some power issues. They both hoped that Connor or I would join them in Paris, so we each received a ticket. My brother and I had both turned down the offer, claiming that our lives were here. Things weren't so bad then. As werewolves, our community and culture are spread throughout the world. Different areas of the world are separated into sections. All of the werewolf packs within these sections are required to pick a yearly representative. The alphas of the packs meet a couple of times a year. The representatives discuss issues that affect the entire wolf community, and they select special wolves to exclude from a pack. These wolves work in various settings, including airports, government agencies, and banks. They're there to protect all the other wolves from the brutality of humans. They'd exchange my ticket for one I could use on a flight, and I'd be flying towards my happy ever after. I sigh and try my hardest to keep my letter short. Dear Connor and Pack, you might not care, but I'm gone. I'm with my mother and father in Paris. Please think what you want, but I'm not running, I'm waiting. I hope that my friends can explain my situation in a way that I can understand. Charlie. I throw the paper on my bed and yank my suitcase off the floor. My parents will return when the alpha of the Paris pack see fit. Sometimes that takes weeks. Sometimes it takes years. Years. I could have years away from this dreadful place and I wouldn't even have to think about it. Not once. I set my suitcase down and glance around the yard as I strip, preparing to shift. I cringe as the still unfamiliar shudder passes through my body. The shift isn't quite as painful as it once was, but it's still agonizing. At the age of 13, most wolves first shift at the first full moon of the year. Naturally, there are early and late bloomers. I didn't change until almost 14. The first shift is always horrendously painful, and a lot of werewolves end up getting lost. Even more, go unconscious and wake up alone and naked. Some of us are lucky and have parents who can track us, like my dad. That way, we aren't too alone or too scared. I gently lift the suitcase into my mouth. Humans aren't entirely blind to us. They could see us if we or they wanted it to be so. However, when the supernatural was first created, the first witches put a fog in humans' minds, which prevented them from fully seeing us. Whatever they saw would keep changing until it fit whatever the human thought it wanted to see. It still stands that way, though such old magic naturally has its weak moments. Either way, we still have to be careful. I take a deep breath of the cool air, looking forward to the long run to the airport. Chapter 4, Cole's POV. The rest of the school day was absolute hell. Charlie left sometime during lunch, and my wolf has been going crazy trying to find out where she is. That's the funny thing about werewolves. The actual wolf part. It's not like some of the books say, you know, that voice in your head. It's more like an urge, a force telling you where to go and what to do. The older you get, the closer to and more like your wolf you are. Your wolf is the part that's meant for your mates. But since we're a part of our wolves, the human parts of us mostly fit together too. There are mess-ups. This must be a mess-up. Yet, for some reason, my wolf refuses to believe that even for a second. The walk home is almost as bad as the school day itself. My anxiety is building up, and I just need to hear that she's okay. Not dead or hurt or something like that. Each individual family gets their own house wherever they'd like. The alpha and beta families are meant to stay at the pack house. All wolves are allowed to stay at, eat at, pass through, or really anything at the pack house. It's meant to be a place of gathering. Because Charlie and Connor's parents are gone, they both stay at the pack house with my family. My nose twitches at her scent. She was here only a few hours ago. The house is eerily quiet as Connor and I step in. Whose turn is it to do dishes tonight? I ask, eyeing the budding pile in the sink. Connor takes a deep breath. Charlie's. He sighs exasperatedly. I'll go get her. I give him a curt nod and move to the kitchen. I grab an apple and park myself on a stool. I jump as Connor's voice booms through the house. Cole, I'm up in a flash, expecting the worst. She's dead. She can't be dead. I'd feel it, wouldn't I? I know I said I didn't want her, but what if I was wrong? Oh my God, what did I do? I rush into the room, my head snapping left and right. I feel a brief sense of relief upon discovering no bodies. Connor stands in the middle of the room, a piece of paper gripped tightly in his hand. What is that? What's wrong? She's gone. What? Here. It's a letter scrawled in her hurried handwriting. I read it over quickly but then reread it. What? I whip my head around, noticing for the first time that several dresser drawers are hanging open, mostly empty. She's gone. She left. I did that. Cole? I look over to see Connor staring at me, confusion lining his face, pain in his eyes. Did something happen? Why'd she leave? How could we treat her like that? I don't know. I set my jaw. I need to talk to her friends. I need to call my parents. I should make sure she's okay. See what happened. I swear I dashed. He stops. Can you talk to your dad? Show him the note. She just left. How could dashed up? He sighs and walks out of the room, muttering to himself. Connor may act like he hates Charlie, but he honestly loves her, and that little urge inside my head tells me that I could have loved her, too. Chapter 5 of Charlie's POV. It's been 2 years since I was last here, where I grew up, where my friends are. Home. I don't know if I can consider it home anymore, but that's the only word that seems to fit. Let's move it, Missy. My dad lightly bumps my shoulder as he passes me. It was time to come home. And no matter how much I hate the people here, I miss this place. Yeah, Missy. A deep voice to my right chuckles. You too, mister. My dad calls over his shoulder. Thank you on behalf of Charlie here, Mr. W. She needed something to tease me about. Anytime, Tyler, anytime. My dad has that casual set of his lips that shows a liking for Tyler. Come on, mister. I kick Ty's shin and head towards the house. Ty's my best friend. I still count Kylie as my best friend, but Ty was one of my only friends in Paris. He wants to be a representative. He wants to work for the elders. So, he spun a story about seeing other cultures and visiting other packs and somehow convinced both our parents and the packs to let him come with us. He comes up and rests his arm on my head. He's tall, taller than my 5 feet 9 inches body. His pale skin stands out against my dark hair. His hair is a bleached blonde, not that he'll ever admit to dyeing it. So, tell me, short stack, are there any cute boys with preferences like mine around here? He quirks an invisible eyebrow in my direction. If by preferences like yours, you mean liking other boys, then I wouldn't know. I laugh as he rolls his eyes at me. You're such a useless friend. Oh, I know, I don't understand why you put up with me. I push him off me and continue into the house. New carpets. New paint on the walls, same smell. I hear an intake of breath to my left and hear my brother's strained voice. Charlie. Hey, big brother. I cast a cold look in his direction. He looks tired. There are bags under his eyes and he looks pale. His eyes widen as he takes me in. You look different. I have to agree with him. I'd finally grown into myself. My appearance hasn't changed much, considering it's been 2 years, but my attitude about myself has. I stand taller than I once did. I hold my chin higher and try to give off the aura of someone who loves herself because I do love myself. Took me long enough. Thanks. I nod my head at him. This is Ty, this is Connor. Ty gives Connor a deadly look. I'm her brother. Connor extends his hand. Oh, I know all about you. I see Connor's fingers go white from the force of Tyler's grip. Shaking his hand out, Connor turns to me. Do you want me to bring your bags up to your room? It's your old one. You're in the spare at the end of the hall. Connor nods to Ty. No, we can handle it. I walk up the stairs, headed to my old room, signaling for Tyler to follow. My room is untouched. The same flower print comforter on the bed, same blue carpet, same green walls. Nice. Tyler teased, picking a stuffed bear off my bed. Shut up, Tyler. I scoff. Remind me why I even invited you. He winks in reply. Because you love me. Yeah, so you tell me. Stop being frustrating and show me my room. I shove him through the door and lead the way down the hall, laughing. Chapter 6, Charlie's POV. Charlie, honey, are you ready yet? My mom knocks lightly on my door as she walks in. Maybe. I keep looking at myself, trying to figure out what exactly is wrong with my reflection. The pack is throwing a party. 2 parties. The adults are holding one for my parents, the kind with wine and soft music, at a local, pack-owned restaurant. and the younger pack members are having a party because the adults will be away. It's going to be the kind with loud music, and it's going to be held in the pack house itself, so I can't escape it. Are you asking me, or are you telling me? She laughs at the face I give her and walks over to where I'm standing in front of my mirror. Are you okay, honey? I don't know. I need to look good and feel good here. I need to show those stupid people downstairs. I falter slightly at the raised eyebrow she gives me. I mean, the wonderful members of my pack, that I'm different. That I'm new. That I'm not broken. Okay, then let's show them. I didn't tell her everything that happened, and she didn't ask for all the details. 2 years ago, right before I hopped on my plane, I left my father and her a vague message as to why I was coming. When I arrived, I provided them with some vague explanations about how I needed a new environment. Eventually, I told my mom I was being picked on a little bit and wanted to get away from it. I don't know how to. I silently groan at how whiny I sound. I'm 18, no need to sound like I'm 10. Okay, sweetie, let me see if I can help you. First, are you comfortable with Thai outfit? I look down at my clothes, black shorts and a black and white striped tank top. I nod at her. Okay. Your makeup. Again, I nod. I worked like hell to get my eyeliner wings even. Your hair. I sigh and nod. Oh, I know what it is. Your locket. Immediately, my hand goes to my throat. The locket Kylie gave me, which has always been comfortable against my ribcage, is missing. I took it off to do my hair. I forgot. Thank you so much. I hug her and reach for the necklace, clasping it around my neck. You're welcome. She smiles at me and kisses me on the forehead. I'll see you later. Okay? I think the kids have already started their study group, and we're already late, so your father and I are going out the back. She winks at me and leaves my room. I take a few deep breaths. I'm going to be fine. I'm going to find Tyler. He and I are going to go downstairs and see Kylie and all my friends. It's going to be fine. I will pretend he doesn't exist and enjoy the night as I'm meant to. I skitter down the hall to Ty's room, really hoping the party downstairs means no one else will see me. I need my moral support. I knock 3 times, then twice, then 5 times. It's how we used to knock on each other's dorm room doors back in Paris. He opens the door, smiling, and suddenly a wave of his cologne hits me. Geez, Ty, you do know you aren't supposed to use the whole bottle at once, right? Oh, shut up, it isn't that bad. But he self-consciously begins to sniff his shoulder. I have to make an impression on the gentleman. You mean as the guy who made them lose their sense of smell? I'm sure that'll leave an impression. I sneeze into my arm, my eyes burning from the force of the smell. Go out on another shirt or something. He sighs at me, rolling his eyes, but turns around to change anyway. I turn around so that my back is facing him. Privacy, folks, is paramount. He pokes me in the back, letting me know that he's done. I turn around. Better. He looks at himself. Much. At least I can breathe. You look lovely too. Shall we be going? We shall. We hook arms and make our way to the stairs. Already there's loud music trickling from the main living room. You going to be okay? Ty gives me a quick once-over as if to search for wounds. I'm going to be fine. Thanks. Let's go. Removing our arms from each other, we both start our way down the stairs. The pack house is enormous, huge enough to fit the whole pack at least, but whenever there are parties here, it gets smaller. There are tables up against every wall, and food, alcohol, and sodas are pushed into every available space. One of the tables has a stereo blasting some pop songs. The party itself is already kicking, with at least 35 people dancing and chatting, and I know there are more on the way. I do a quick scan of the area, my eyes locking on Kylie's face. I take off, dragging Tyler with me. I come to an abrupt halt in front of all of my friends, my chest welling at the sight of them. At first, they look confused, like they don't know who I am. Then Kylie sees my locket, and a spark of recognition flashes through her eyes. At the same time, she suddenly flings her arms around my neck and her legs around my waist, squealing so loudly that it sounds like a tortured animal. Charlie, you're here. I knew you were supposed to be, but I didn't see you, and Connor told me to give you some space. Well, he told everyone to give you some space, or else I would have been in your room before you'd even gotten here. You look different. I'm still holding her, and as she tries to pull her head back to look at me, I get off balance and suddenly, we're both on the floor laughing. Yeah, 2 years does that to a person. We both laugh again, looking at each other, and I can't help it. I fling myself at her, the way she threw herself at me, and squeeze her. We both stay like that for a bit, and then I stand up, dust myself off, and greet everyone else. In the middle of all that, my eyes lock onto someone across the room. But he's already looking at me. He looks pained. Hopefully he is pained. An alpha wolf's need to be with his mate is stronger than any other's, so I take great amping pride in knowing that he's in more pain than I at the moment. That's not true. I doubt there's anyone in worse pain than me at the moment. Chapter 7, Cole's POV, she's here. I can feel her. You okay? Connor asked. Yeah, perfectly fine, I say through gritted teeth. I shouldn't have come. I knew she'd be here, yet I came anyway. No. I came because I knew she'd be here. But I don't want to think about that. Dude, what's the issue? I know you and there's something wrong. Connor has worry laced in his voice. He's like that now. Charlie left and now he worries about everyone. I open my mouth to reassure him that I'm fine when I'm hit with a mouth-watering smell. Vanilla and cinnamon. I snap my head to the source of the smell and am met with blue-purple eyes. But only for a second before she snaps her head down. She's here. Is that Charlie? I ask Connor, not so discreetly, pointing across the room. Yeah. He's mumbling. And he won't look at her. She's here. She's blossomed over the last 2 years. She's gorgeous. She was gorgeous before. But now she glows. She's the kind of beautiful that isn't even just physical. Something in me wants for her and it makes her and everything about her all the more beautiful. Dude. Connor's looking at me now. More worry. Sorry. She looks different. She looks hot. I hear Mike's voice as he comes up behind me. Mike is a good friend of ours. Sort of. He's an idiot. An idiot with a slight drinking problem. Not that she wasn't hot before. Not that I was looking at her before. I mean dash. I feel a great amount of anger, possessiveness, and jealousy at his words. I shouldn't. I have no right to. But I do. I almost start shaking with the anger I feel. But then I hear a melodic sound. My mate's laughter. I am instantly hit with a wave of calm. Calm and longing. Maybe one of us could hook up with her. Mike should seriously shut his mouth. I clench my fists and try to breathe. That's my sister. Neither of you are hooking up with her. Connor throws Mike an exasperated look, then fixes his eyes on me with the same expression. What? Me? No. I mean, of course not. But I'm going to go say hi. They both throw me the same raised eyebrow look. I scramble for an excuse. Welcome her back. I am going to be alpha in only a few weeks. It looks like Connor is going to say something, but I walk away quickly before he can. First, I stop by the drinks table, blindly pouring something into a cup without looking at what it is. I drink the contents quickly and walk towards her slowly. Her back is to me now, but the closer I get to her, the more she tenses. She knows I'm here. Her friends see her tensing too. Slowly but surely, every person in the group except her sets their glare on me. As they're glaring, someone approaches them, someone I've never seen before. He's pale, incredibly pale, and Charlie seems to know him. Her friends don't. This is Tyler. Her voice. Her voice is like air floating into my lungs. Tyler shakes hands with each person in the group in turn before facing Charlie again. You okay? She turns and whispers something in his ear. They start arguing in whispers. Even with my good hearing, not as enhanced as the stories think, I only pick up pieces of the conversation. He pokes her side. Won't stop till you laugh. Tyler. Her face is blank, but it's obviously forced. I can only see half of it. She's turned towards Tyler, her left side to me. Wow, she's beautiful. Even just half of her. Ty, cut it out. Finally, she lets out a laugh and shoves him away playfully. You're such an idiot. Not the only one, Birdie. He playfully shoves her back. And even though it's playful, and even though I gave up all my rights to be, I'm jealous. I'm wickedly jealous, and again, I have to clench my fists to keep myself where I am. Speaking of, I'm just standing here, watching her. Christ, this is creepy. Birdie? Is that a nickname? I hear one of her friends ask. Andrew. I think. Well, there's a story to that. They're all smiling. I bet Charlie's smiling. The back of Charlie's neck turns red. She turns her head towards Tyler again, and I can see that her cheeks are red, too. Don't. Tyler, I swear I will hurt you. Don't. She's adorable. Sighing, I move to the table on my left. I'm still within earshot, but at least I don't look like I'm pointlessly stalking. And I am pointlessly stalking. Well, I could do what you want me to, or I could tell them anyway. She fell down the stairs her second week at school, very graceful, you should have seen it, and she cut her arm on the way down. Somehow her face was okay, hard to believe looking at it. Tyler pauses to laugh as Charlie bats her hands at him. Okay, so to do her stitches, she had to get doped up. Really doped up? Werewolf metabolism burns through things quicker than human metabolism. It was hilarious. When we got back to school, she started telling everyone that she was a bird. I was the one watching her in the dorm. Her parents were working, but every person who came to see her, she would tell them that she was a bird. He's having a hard time continuing, he's laughing so hard. At one point, I went to get her more ice, came back, and there she was at the window, shouting at me and out the window at the same time that she could fly. She almost fell out. Everyone's laughing now, and she's got her arms across her chest. Part of me wants to laugh. It is a funny story. Some other part of me wants simply to smile at something new about my mate, and a smaller part of me is practically sick at the thought of her hanging out of a window. And that's the birdie story. I need to talk to her. Taking a deep breath, I walk up to her and tap her shoulder. I continue on, ignoring the tingle in my fingers when I touch her shoulder. Cole, she says it as she turns. She felt the tingling, too. She knew it was me. I was, wondering if maybe you wanted to talk in private? The look she gives me tells me that she, in fact, does not want to talk in private. I don't really think dash. She's cut off by her friend reaching his arm across her to me, his hand extended. Hi, I'm Tyler. His grip is tight as he shakes my hand. I'm Cole. I'm Charlie's dashta. From what I've heard, you aren't Charlie's anything. But she'd love to talk to you. My toes curl in my shoes. A growl rises in my throat. I'm about to release it when Charlie lets out one of her own. Tyler smiles as he turns to face her, and I'm left trying to ignore how seriously hot that growl was to me. Look, I'll beat the shit out of him if he tries anything. Even she sees the humor in that statement. She cracks a slight smile. He'd kill you. And I don't dash dot. He would not kill me, and I think you should. Do not try to pressure me into this. You wouldn't have turned around if some small part of you didn't want to talk. Tyler raises an incriminating eyebrow and Charlie sighs in defeat. Consider it a chance to make him suffer. She's still glaring as she turns back to me, but she sighs out a reluctant, fine. She throws her friends a slightly apologetic, I don't want to do this but I have to look. I walk to the back dining room, the small one that everyone leaves alone during parties. There are a lot of breakables. Maybe that will keep her from trying to hit me. 2 years ago, I'd say she'd hardly have the guts to try anything, but I clearly didn't know anything then and know even less now. I don't look at her even when we've made it into the room. The walls are painted green, and as I keep looking at them, they start turning into a puke color, and I start feeling sick to my stomach. There's a large blackwood table sitting in the middle of the room, and mirrors, paintings, and Chinese cabinets line the walls. Breakables? What do you want, Cole? I don't know what I want. I want her to keep saying my name. I want to get rid of that edge to her voice when she says it like it's the worst kind of curse. I want her. For starters, I wanted to welcome you back. I look at her, but there's no change in the set of her face. She just looks pissed. And then I wanted to apologize. You know, for essentially breaking my soul into 20,000 pieces and then telling me to never talk to you about it again? Yeah, why don't you apologize for that? Her chin quivers slightly as she snaps her mouth shut again. Anger or tears? I can't tell, but I wish I didn't have to try and figure it out. Look, I want to talk about this whole mate thing. I really I don't get far. If I recall correctly, you never wanted to speak or hear from me involving that matter. I let it go. Well, she corrects herself, maybe not entirely. I'm still angry, but you shouldn't be angry. So maybe you should just let it go and let me be the only one who thinks about it. I don't think I want you as a mate. There's a crease between her eyebrows and she's sitting here telling me she hates me and I still can't help but think it's cute. Goodbye, Cole. She pauses for a minute, waiting for me to say something, maybe. But I can't, I'm in shock for a moment. Her look gets even angrier, if possible, and she turns on her heel to leave. I shoot forward and lightly grab her arm, turning her around. I'm not letting her go that easily. I don't know if I meant to say anything like this when I asked her to talk to me, but I need to say it. You don't want me as a mate? That is not what I meant to say. No, big romantic speech, come on, something other than a stuttered question. Why would I want to be tied to someone who doesn't want me? Why would I waste my time and my energy and my love on someone who is so concerned about being great that he doesn't care about being good? Why would I want to be with someone who would choose popularity, or whatever it was, over the one thing on earth made specifically for them? She raises an accusatory eyebrow at the hand I didn't realize I still have on her arm. Snatching my arm back, I try to explain everything. Listen, I don't know what I was even thinking. I'm pretty sure I wasn't thinking at all. I can't, I'm hurting. I need you. I need to try to work this out. I'm trying to reach something in her that I'm praying I didn't kill. You're hurting. Oh, thank the great wolf. Every day. And it's true. Letting her go was the most idiotic thing I've ever done. She was made for me and I pushed her away. I can't even remember any good reason. Well, not one that I gave her. The truth is, I was scared. I was scared of letting her down low, turning my pack down, or having a mate not being everything I'd ever dreamed of. I was scared and she suffered as a result. Good. Her face is made of stone. She turns and marches to the door. She risks one more glance at me and suddenly my mate is leaving me for a second time. Chapter 8. Connor's POV. Cole isn't himself. First, he gets all weird about Charlie, then he decides to say hi, and now he's just standing behind her group listening to their conversation. Last I knew, he hated Charlie. Hated her. But then again, so did I. He and I need to talk. I decide to head outside for a bit of air, sort of a bad idea. I decided to head to the kitchen for a glass of water. It was surprisingly vacant. I was heading out when I heard my sister's voice in the dining room. I stood there with my ear pressed to the door. Who's the stalker now? A small voice in the back of my head scolded me. I wanted to talk about the whole mate thing. Was that Cole's voice? If I recall correctly, you never wanted to speak or hear from me involving that matter. I have let it go, so should you. I don't want you as a mate. Bye, Cole. So it was Cole. Wait, he and Charlie are mates? But you don't want me as a mate? God, Cole, didn't she make that clear? I want a mate who cares about me and is not so caught up in being Mr. Popular Alpha that he ignores the one person made for him and only him. She is most certainly not the shy little thing we gave up 2 years ago. Listen, I was big-headed then. I really would like it if you would still be my mate. It hurts to not be with you. I'm in pain. I did not need to hear that. Good. Burn. I heard her walk away. I decided to ask Cole what was going on. I walk through the door loud enough so I know he hears me. He wears a look of shock on his face. You and Charlie? I was dumbfounded at the moment. Yeah. I could tell that he felt awkward. When did you find out? 2 years ago. On her birthday. He was blushing. Our Alpha is blushing. The day she left? Why did she leave if she found you? It dawned on me as I put 2 and 2 together. You rejected her. And you're he who shall not be named, aren't you? I remembered what her letter had said. I guess. But you don't understand, he started to defend himself. I understand that you were an ass to my sister. I understand that you're the reason she left. And I understand that now since she's good-looking, you want her. With that, I walked away. As I re-entered the party, I spotted my sister talking to a group of girls. Walking closer, I realized who that group of girls held. They were the girls who had bullied Charlie when she lived there before. And by the looks of it, they were doing it again. The nearer I got, the more I could comprehend what they said. The nerd might look hot, but on the inside, she's just not. Nicole, the leader of the blonde airheads, says. All her little minions laugh. My sister's reply takes me aback. Well, at least one of us is hot. And at least one of us isn't a dumb-ass, fake blonde slut such as yourself. See you later. And she walked off, leaving all of their mouths agape. Nice one, sis. I held up my hand for a high five, but she kept on walking. I caught her arm. I heard you and Cole talking. Why didn't you tell me when you found out? Why, so you could tell everyone that even the nerd's mate rejects her, and get me bullied even more? No thanks. I'd never do that to you. I probably would have. Yes, you would. When I went to Paris, something dawned on me. I've always been hiding. I've never spoke out, shoved back, or done anything I should have. Well, guess what? New Charlie will, to every single last one of you. I'm sorry for all the stuff we've done to you. We've changed. Nicole just proved you wrong. And she marched away. She was one for confrontation. She was hurt. Kiri had always been perfect at everything. Whether it was school or sports, she was the favorite over everyone else. At one point, she beat me in a wolf match. I was so angry and jealous that I took pictures of her diary and put them everywhere online and handed out printed copies. She said some mean things about most of us, mainly Nicole, her minions, my friends, and the rest of her bullies. I wasn't included in her rant. I was pretty surprised by that. But it didn't matter. Everyone was either mentioned or had a friend mentioned. Everyone hated her. When my parents left, no one protected her, and no one cared about her. We forced her to be our maid. She had to cook and clean for us. She never really objected. Looking back now, I realize all the horrible things I've done. And I was sorry. Why did she have to be so stubborn? She did change. The old Charlie would have hugged me and told me that she forgave me. Guess that Charlie's gone. Chapter 9, Charlie's POV. I was fuming. First, that jerk Cole wants me to be his mate again, now that I'm hot. And then that blonde-headed troublemaker, Nicole, tries to start a fight. On top of that, Connor wants to make amends so that all shall be forgiven. 2 years too late. I'm not as forgiving anymore. I walked back to my friends. Before they could ask, I said, "He wants me to be his mate. She wants to start a fight, and he wants all to be forgiven." I pointed to each individual. "Okay," they all answered. "Ugh, I hate life." I groaned. "Come with me." Kylie pulled me to the kitchen. It was empty. She was going to try to cheer me up. I just knew it. She told me to sit and stay, and I did as she commanded. All was fine until some drunk boy walked in. I instantly recognized him as Mike, one of my brother's friends, the player, the guy who had tried to get with every girl in school, including me. He was taller now with more muscle. He still had blonde hair and green eyes. The eyes were how I recognized him. They were bright green with yellow and blue swirls. "Hey, babe." He slurred his words, the pungent smell of alcohol filling my nose. He was barely audible over the pounding music. "You want to go upstairs and hang out?" "Ugh. In your dreams," I replied, getting up to walk away. He grabbed my waist. "Why won't anyone ever let me go? Every time I try to walk away today, someone stops me." "You're right. A girl like you is a dream." "Ugh." He turned me so that I was trapped between him and the kitchen aisle. I tried to push him off, but he was stronger than me and he wasn't letting go. He leaned in closer, invading my personal space. I tried to push him away again, but he held on tighter. I saw my opportunity and stomped on his foot. As he let go of me in pain, I screamed for help. Though I knew not many people could hear me over the music, I hoped anyone could. He grabbed me again, trying to pull me back toward him. Suddenly, the door burst open, revealing a very shocked-looking Connor and a very angry-looking Cole. Chapter 10, Connor's POV. "Hey, Connor." I hear Nicole's voice behind me and turn to see that she has hiked up her barely there skirt to a point where it covers nothing important. "Why don't we head upstairs and have a private party?" "Because you insulted my sister." Simple answer. "What do you mean?" "No, I didn't." "Don't need your lies, thank you very much." "Yes, you did." "How do you know?" "Did Charlie tell you?" She was obviously lying. "Nimrod." "She didn't tell me." "Then who did?" "Ugh, do I have to spell it out for her?" "I saw it." But I was done talking. I needed to get away from her. I just left her alone in the middle of the party. It must be embarrassing. I walked over to where Cole was standing. I needed to apologize. I was really hard on him and I felt like there was more to the story. He obviously had a rational reason to reject her. At least he is better. Approaching him, I started the speech I had made up a minute ago. "I'm sorry. I overreacted. But I need you to tell me more about the story. What did you do to make her so upset? I don't think just rejecting her would do it." Suddenly a quiet but high-pitched shriek cut him off. It sounded like help. It was hard to hear over the music. I don't know who it is. But by the way Cole's whole body was tensing, I could tell it was Charlie. It was coming from the kitchen. I walked into the kitchen to be met by a shocking sight. Standing there was a very drunk Mike making unwanted advances toward Charlie. Ugh, I didn't need to see this. Then I realized that Charlie didn't want him on her. She was struggling, but her small stature was no match for his built body. I heard a growl rip through the air and turned to find Cole shaking in anger. He realized that too. "Calm down, dude," I hear Mike's drunk voice say to Cole. I guess the growl had distracted him from continuing his advances on my sister. Charlie must have seen this too. I turned just in time to see Charlie kick him in his sweet spot and then slap him across the face. Ouch, that sounded like it hurt. Disgusting pervert. She spat. Mike appeared to be fighting to keep his balance. He sat down on a bar stool and seemed to pass out the second his head hit the counter. Well, thanks for distracting him. So before things get awkward, I'll just be on my way. Charlie tried to move past us, but Cole wouldn't have any of that. Pulling her to him by her waist, he spoke just loud enough for me to hear. Can we please talk? There's nothing to talk about. She made no effort to quiet her voice. Damn it, Charlie. Seeing Mike do that did not help me. I really want you, need you to be with me. Please. His voice was hoarse, filled with a raw urgency. When did everyone suddenly become so attracted to her? Oh yeah, since this party's for her, every available guy has to fall in love with her or want something more. Chapter 11, Cole's POV, please. I pleaded with her. Seeing Mike with Charlie like that had awakened a deep protective instinct in me, and I knew I couldn't let this moment pass. Listen, Cole, I feel heat spread in my chest at the way my name rolls off her tongue. I'm not gonna let you hurt me again. The pain in my mate's voice made me want to comfort her, to ease her pain. I won't hurt you again. I couldn't. Just please. My voice was barely above a whisper. She starts to object, but I can't take it anymore. I lean down close to her and gently kiss her forehead. At first, she's startled, but then she relaxes. The moment is everything I've ever hoped for, filled with unspoken emotions. I had forgotten that Connor was here until he cleared his throat. Charlie and I pull apart, both of us catching our breath. Connor stands there looking uncomfortable. So, are you two together now? Connor's bluntness catches us off guard. I look at Charlie, asking her the same thing. I'd like us to be. Well, she hesitates. I'll leave you two to figure things out. Connor intervenes. And with that, he walks away, leaving me and Charlie alone. Chapter 12 of Charlie's POV, I'm alone. In a vacant room. With Cole. This cannot be good. Cole turned me so that he could properly look into my eyes. You know, I'm trying really hard not to be close to you right now, he said with an intense look in his eyes. Smiling innocently, I leaned closer to him, whispering in his ear, keep fighting, Cole. I hear a soft groan escape his lips, filled with longing. Knowing that I've gotten to him, I walk away, leaving the tension between us behind. As I enter the party, all eyes are on me. I smile my way through them all until I find Tyler. Why is everyone staring at me? I ask nonchalantly. I'm trying to act cool when, in reality, all these people's eyes are making me nervous. Well, I don't really know. Most of the people here thought that you were just Charlie's friend. They all just realized that it's you. Oh. Hey, I have an idea. Tyler leans in closer so that all the eavesdroppers won't hear. What are you gonna do? I know he's up to something just by the mischievous look in his eyes. You should go sing a song. No. I don't like singing in front of people, and you know it. Suddenly, he's running toward the stage before I can stop him. He says something to the DJ and the music stops. Now he's speaking over a microphone. Oh. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I know you don't know me, but you should all know my friend over here. He points to me. Charlie. We're all here for her. Well, I say that she should sing you a song to thank you. What do you say? The whole crowd screams words of agreement. And suddenly, I'm up on stage, telling the DJ to play my favorite song, Gone Gone Gone, by Philip Phillips. The music starts, and I begin to sing into the microphone. When life leaves you high and dry, I'll be at your door tonight. If you need help, I'll shut down the city lights. Hell, I'll cheat. I'll beg and bribe to make you well when enemies are at your door. I'll carry you away from war. If you need help, your hope dangling by a string while sharing your suffering to make you well. Give me reasons to believe that you would do the same for me, and I would do it for you, baby. I'm not moving on. I'll love you long after you're gone. For you, you will never sleep alone. I'll love you long after you are gone, and long after you are gone, when you fall like a statue, I'm gone be there to catch you. Put you on your feet, and if your well is empty, not a thing will prevent me. Tell me what you need. What do you need? I surrender honestly. You've always done the same for me, so I would do it for you, baby. I'm not moving on. I'll love you long after you're gone. For you, you will never sleep alone. I'll love you long after you're gone, and long after you're gone. The song ended, and to my surprise, the crowd erupted into applause. As I made my way off stage, I thought about that song. It was my favorite because of the message it gave. I had always imagined my mate feeling that way, and I think he finally does. Chapter 13, Charlie's POV. The rest of the night went great. Everyone complimented my singing skills, and I fell asleep proud of myself. I wake up to morning light streaming in through my windows. I groan in protest but get up anyway. I'm about to head into the bathroom to take a shower when a piece of paper lying on my pillow catches my eye. I had not noticed it before. I pick it up and feel a jolt of fear. My name is written on the front in very familiar handwriting. My stalkers. Let's rewind here so you're not confused. When I went to Paris, I gained a stalker. He would send me twisted love letters in the mail and tell me that I was his and only his. It was creepy, but it wasn't that big of a deal at first. Then the letters would be on my pillow or even in my fridge. One night, I woke up to find him leaving through my window. I tried to stop him, but he was too fast. I locked my windows after that, but he always got in. The last time I received a note from him was 2 nights before I left. I saw it the next morning and panicked. My dear Charlotte, you are leaving me. I see that it's not your fault, but it pains me to see you leave. You're so beautiful and sweet and caring. You're perfect, and perfect for me. Tomorrow night, expect me in your room. I hope and advise that you welcome me with open arms. If you don't and leave without saying goodbye, I'll find you, and I'll make you mine truly. Love, your secret admirer. I slept in Tyler's apartment that night, and I made him come with me. That's why I recognized this handwriting so well. I had hoped that I would never have to see it again. So, with shaky hands, I opened the letter. I read through it once, slowly, and then another 3 times, making sure I haven't misread. Dearest Charlotte, you really thought you could get away from me? Well, you were wrong, you didn't. I've been watching you closely, and I don't like the interactions you've been having with Cole. You're mine, not his. Remember that. I still love you, but you're going to pay. Pay in ways you don't know exist. Love you always, your secret admirer. Well, crap. This isn't good. This dude scares the shit out of me when he isn't threatening me, so you can imagine how I feel now that he is. Suddenly, it hits me. He's in my town. He was in my house. He was in my room. In my room. Chapter 14, Charlie's POV. I ran to the guest bedroom, where Ty was staying. I shake him, failing to wake him. He's a damn heavy sleeper. I do the first thing that pops into my mind. I jump on him. We both go tumbling off the bed, me on top. The hell? Ty whisper screams. He's back. I got another letter. I thrust the letter in my hand at him. I see his eyes scan over the paper at least 8 times, his eyes becoming wider each time he does. By the time he hands the paper back to me, his eyes are roughly the size of dinner plates. What are you gonna do? I mean, if this is gonna escalate as quickly as last time, you're screwed without help. Ty starts rambling out ideas that I ignore, but one catches my ear. I bet your alpha of a mate could help you. Are you crazy? No. I do not need to be under 24-hour protection. And you know he'd tell Connor, and Connor, being the overreactor he is, will tell my parents. And I will not put them through that again. My parents had been through enough worrying for me the last time this happened. Well, we need to tell someone. Ty exclaimed louder than I would have liked. How about I tell my friends, and if it gets really bad, like he tries to rape me, then we tell people. Is that okay? No. But you being the stubborn pig you are, I stick my tongue out at him. Even though he was right, you won't bargain. So that's the deal for now. After our little talk, I got showered and dressed, and Tyler and I headed down to breakfast. Seated, there was the whole pack, including Cole, eating pancakes and cereal. I noticed that Connor stands at the stove. It appears that my big brother learned how to cook when I was away. Connor, I didn't know you could cook. Connor turned to face me, his face brightening when he saw that it was me. That's new. I learned after you left. Someone had to cook for these pigs. He said, earning many glares from Nicole and her army of blonde boneheads. Oh, well, of course. Sit down and eat. I want you to test my food. Connor seems excited, but I have to let him down. Sorry, I'm not that hungry. Tomorrow, I promise. My and Tiny too look into something. I give a meek smile, hoping to reassure them so I don't have to lie about my stalker. You two are up to something. What are you looking into? My whole body freezes. How am I supposed to lie my way out of this? Well? I stutter, it's a secret. I say it more like a question than an answer. Why are you lying? Connor seems concerned. I might consider telling him about my stalker if the whole pack wasn't watching us, including Cole. Well, I might consider telling you if we didn't have an audience. I look towards everyone and earn many glares, curious looks, and a furious one from Cole. He's just pissed that I'm not telling him. Well, screw him, he'll have to deal with it. Let's go outside. Connor suggests. We head outside. Since we're all werewolves, they would be able to hear us if we stood right outside, so we walked over to the lake across the street. Once we stop, I start spewing words. Mom and Dad probably didn't tell you this, but about a year ago, in Paris, I got a stalker. He would send me twisted love notes and watch me sleep and stuff. Well, I thought I left him in Paris, but I found one letter on my pillow this morning. I rush this all out as quickly as I can, but by the look on his face, I say he understood. So, you still have a stalker? His voice is hoarse. Sadly, yes. Sadly, yes. Chapter 15, Unknown POV, my poor, sweet, naive little Charlotte. The poor girl thought that she could get away from me. While she may refer to me as a stalker, I'm not. I'm her secret admirer. But I'm also her mate. She may not see that I am, but I'll make her. This Cole will have to be eliminated. She thinks he's her mate, but I am. I'll be able to love her, I'll be able to protect her, I'll be able to care for her. I need her. As I watch her now, telling her brother all about me, I wish I could make my presence known. But with other people around, I won't be able to get to her quickly enough. Soon. Only a week left until I will hold her and she will accept me. If not, I have my ways. I see my phone blinking beside me. It's a text from Rico, got the file boss. When do you want it? I quickly type my reply, tonight, see you at HQ at 8. Then I go back to admiring my mate. Chapter 16, Connor's POV, is this a joke? I thought I was thinking the worst, like my baby sister was pregnant and they were double-checking. Or she was doing drugs. Or something like that. But a stalker? He could be watching us right now. Some werewolves can mask their scent from other werewolves. He's probably one of them. This is just too weird. I mean, what if he hurts her? Or what if he hurts someone else? What if he kidnaps her? With all these worst-case scenarios running through my head, I make my way to the house. As I enter the kitchen, I feel all eyes on me. What was that about? Nicole asks. Nothing, I reply. I wasn't supposed to tell anyone. I'm sure as hell not telling Nicole. Oh please, it's something. You can tell me anything. Bitch, I think nastily. You're right, it is something. But it's none of your business. Watching as she flinches at my words and sits down. Can I know? Cole asks, raising an eyebrow. I wasn't supposed to tell the overprotective alpha mate. I mind linking to him using our private alpha to beta link. Then tell your very curious best friend. Sworn to secrecy, sorry dude. I look at him sympathetically. You'll find out soon enough. Does it involve Charlie? He asked. Yes. Her safety. Maybe. Damn it, I should have said no. Always go with a lie instead of simply bending the truth, words to live by. Tell me. I want her to be safe. I know that, but she doesn't want you going all alpha mate on her and overreacting. If I think you need to be told, then you will be told. Fine. That surprised me. However, I knew that he would investigate later. And no going detective on us. But no buts. God, we sound like a mother and child. No promises. He's one stubborn kid. Cole Zachary Belson, you will do as I say? Or so help me, no dessert for you. Fine, Mom. He replied grumpily. And I smile with victory even though I know that's not the last conversation on this subject we'll be having. Chapter 17, Charlie's POV, I'm such a loser. My mate doesn't want me, my brother pities me, and I can't ditch a simple stalker. So here I am under the staircase in the secret passageway. It's really a crawl space that was put in for storage when the house was built. But at some point it was made a passageway to roam about the house for slaves. I used to come in here to be alone. The only entrances that work now are my bedroom, the staircase, Cole's room, and one in the garden. There are peepholes in the house. I used to watch the pack members have fun and enjoy themselves through them. I would imagine having fun with them. I had just gone on a run, letting all my anger, worry, and confusion out. I was one of the fastest wolves at my boarding school, and all the wolves took a field trip to a secluded forest weekly. Where are you? Cole's voice fills my head. Somewhere. What do you need? I'm irritated that mates can have their own private mind linked so that only we can tune into it. Come to the West Wing cell. Someone wants to speak to you. He replied rather grumpily. Be there in a sec. I don't dwell on who it is, I just go. Once I am standing outside the cell, my eyes land on a very angry-looking Cole. He senses me nearing him and turns. Go on in. He tells me through clenched teeth. God, what did I do to him? Shrugging it off, I walk into the room. There is a small rectangular metal table in the center with 2 chairs on both sides. 2 people were sitting in the chairs. Sniffing the air, I cringed. There was a vampire. They smelled repulsive like dirty water and fish. There was a familiar scent in the air. It was human. It smelled like oranges and strawberries. My old friend Tara had that smell. She was a year younger than I and had gone to the boarding school with me. We had talked a lot about a boy she was seeing. Cody. She said that he was nothing but trouble, but she couldn't help falling in love with him. I personally think that's what having a mate sounds like, but she was human. She moved about a year ago and returned to the US with the boy she had become attracted to. I never did get to meet him. Charlie! Someone exclaimed, and suddenly I was being hugged. I looked down to find none other than Tara. Looking better than ever, with her long waist-length brown hair, her pale skin, and striking light blue eyes. She was stunning for a human. Tara? What are you doing here? I was so confused that I looked up to see the vampire studying me curiously. He had spiked, strawberry blonde hair, dark green eyes, and the usual close to transparent vampire skin. As always, the godlike looks, as some people put it, were present. Charlie, we came here to warn you. Is this Cody? I asked, ignoring her strange words. It made sense, some vampires have mates. It's rare but possible. Tara seemed to have an endless list of ex-boyfriends, so to me, his being her mate was the only way she would stay with him that long. Yeah, I'm Cody, Tara's mate, he said protectively, stepping toward Tara. I let out a growl, warning him not to get any closer to me. Charlie calmed down. Back to the matter at hand. Bad things are going to happen. Tara intervened. What? What bad things? I'll be the first to say that I'm confused. Tara sighed. He wants you, Charlie. And he ain't not gonna stop till he gets you. Haven't you gotten a note? My heart literally stops in my chest. How does she know about the stalker? How did you know about that? My ancestor was a witch. I inherited a gift I can see into the future. He's going to attack in 4 days. He's bringing an army. He ain't going to take you. He thinks you're his mate. What his name? I don't know. And I don't know what he looks like. Every time I see him, it's dark out. This isn't good. Chapter 18, Cole's POV. I'm surprised that Charlie didn't figure that I was listening in. Or maybe she did, but just chose to ignore it. I had to fight to keep in a growl when I heard that someone else thought that Charlie was their mate. But when I listened to the panic in my mate's voice, I let the growl out freely. At this, the door opened and out came a worried-looking Charlie. I ran up to her as fast as I could, pulling her into a tight hug. Can't breathe, she squeaked. After putting her down and apologizing, I gave her a hard look. What? She asked, seeming irritated. Note? Is this what you Connor and Tyler about? I grit my teeth at Tyler's name. He seems to be pretty close to her. To anyone on the outside, it would appear that they are dating. Yes. He's kinda, sorta, maybe my stalker. How long? 1.5 years. Give or take. Why didn't you tell me about this? Didn't she trust me? Because you'd get guards to watch the whole territory, special ones for me, and more patrols outside my room. All of which are unnecessary. She lets out a heavy breath. They're all for your own good. I love you, even if you don't love me, and I can't let anything happen to you. It's not that I don't love you. I do, but I don't. It's so complicated that I just want to jump off a bridge. She groans in frustration. She looks so pained that I can't help it. I lean down and kiss her smack dab on the lips. Her legs instantly wrap around my waist, and her hands begin to play with my hair, almost like she was expecting it, waiting for it. As our tongues dance a furious tango, I hear a needy moan escape her mouth, sending tingles of pleasure to make their way down my back. Alpha! A voice pierces the silence, causing Charlie to jump back in surprise. What? I yell, pissed off that someone had ruined such a perfect moment. Rogues, sir. They're attacking the north border. 50 of them when I left. Maybe more now. He stated, breathless. Rogues, oh. Rogues are wolves that have left or been banished from their pack. They are horrid looking, and their scent is worse. Their fur is dirty and dull. Their eyes are lifeless. But the worst thing about them is that they have the urge to destroy packs like they are attempting on mine. Dumb asses. They really shouldn't have picked a fight with the strongest pack in the world. Charlie, I need you to go get all of the women, children, and injured into the safe house. After that, go through the pack house and check if anyone has been missed. When you are finished, head down to the safe house yourself. Cole, I cut her off. I'm not losing you again. And informed the rest of the pack to the situation and location. Now go. I ordered in my alpha tone. Yes, Alpha, she said sarcastically and ran off. Let's go, I said to the man who had warned me, Aaron. He was one of our warriors. He was an excellent fighter. As I reached the woods on the outskirts of the house, I shifted into my gray wolf. I let out a howl, telling all the men to prepare for battle and for all the women to get the children into the safe house. I hear many howls in return. I begin to run towards the north border, which is a good 10 minutes away. As I approach, I hear growls, snarls, and whimpers. I look past the trees in front of me to find a small clearing. It was a beautiful clearing filled with flowers and soft grass. Too bad its beauty was tarnished by the hell breaking loose within it. Flowers were stained red with the blood of fallen warriors. The grass kicked up as more rogues fell to the ground, dead. The pack appeared to be winning, but more rogues were coming. I launched forward and took out 2 rogues who had doubled up on me. I continued to prance around to various outnumbered pack members and kill as many rogues as possible. More and more rogues came, but when my whole group of warriors came along, the rogues were clearly outnumbered. We finished off the rest of the enemy and bolted home to relish in our victory. As I approach home, my stomach twists. Something isn't right. I look around to see if any rogues have slipped past us and are hiding in the shadows. Alpha. I turn to see Linda, one of my warrior's wives. Yes. I ask cautiously. She looks very worried. She was supposed I come down, but she didn't. The kitchen. The feral animals didn't even shift. The poor girl didn't have a chance. Course the blood isn't hers, so she must have put up one hell of a fight. There were 3. Who? Charlie. They took her. What? I growl. I started shaking, but then stopped when it all actually made sense. The rogue attack was a distraction. They lucked out that I left Charlie behind. I was the reason that my mate was gone. My mate is gone. My mate is gone. Chapter 19, Charlie's POV. How did I end up here, in this white room? I was tied to a chair with rope dipped in wolfbane, meaning that if I struggled too much, I would get burned. I think back to earlier. Earlier, the only thing on my mind as I warned all the femmes about the attack was the kiss. And that Cole needs to stop ordering me around. I was so wrapped up in my own thoughts that I hadn't realized that I was already in the kitchen. Where the safe house entrance was, it's underground, until the smell hit me. Rogues. I turned to see 3, 2 in wolf form and 1 in human form. The fuck do you parasites want? I spit at them, trying to mind link the pack. However, the safe house was designed so that links wouldn't work, and the warriors blocked it to focus on the fight. I'm on my own. You. The human says, and suddenly I'm pinned up against the fridge. I shift quickly into my black wolf. My ears are white, the same as the end of my tail. I bite into the brown wolf's, the one pinning my neck and tasting the metallic taste of blood dripping into my mouth. I then jump over him to the blonde wolf who is positioned in a fighting crouch. I launch myself heavily off my haunches and lunge for him. I manage to knock him down, but not before the rogue in human form injects me with a needle. Judging by the way my muscles are relaxing, I would say it was sleeping juice or some crazy shit like that. Before I lose consciousness, I kick hard with my back paws, sending the human dude flying into the counter. The last thing I hear before falling into darkness is, he certainly knows how to pick M, doesn't he? Back to yo present pick M? Who the hell picked me for something? Suddenly it hits me like a train. My stalker. He used the rogue attack as a distraction. That bastard better hope he didn't touch Cole, because if he did, so help me God. I can't believe I was so stupid. My thoughts are interrupted when the door swings open. The person standing there makes my jaw drop. Don't recognize your secret admirer? I'm hurt. My stalkers. We're gonna have some fun. Oh crap. Chapter 20, Cole's POV. There was a loud crash as I threw yet another piece of furniture against the wall. How could I have been so stupid? I let her slip right through my fingers. I've already done everything I could to let all the anger out, had a run in wolf form, broke about a dozen punching bags, kicked a couple of trees. You get the pattern. Cole, stop it. I look up to see Charlie's best friend, Kylie. Breaking things is not gonna help her. Okay, so pull your shit together and go all alpha on this issue. Well, she's confusing. But she's gone. I whined like a little baby. Is she dead? No. Is she hurt? Well, she wasn't bleeding, so the worst they could have done was knock her out. So stop being a 4-year-old. Charlie would be so disappointed in you, she screamed. Do not talk to your alpha that way? I growled. Good. You're back. Now get your ass in there and find my best friend. Fine. Good boy. I was currently in my now-destroyed study when I was supposed to be commanding my pack and helping them find their Luna. The second I open the door, I feel guilty. Sitting there are 6 of the young children of the pack, weeping. Children feel a stronger attraction to their Luna than the adult pack members, so they are more affected by her absence. Their heads all whip up at my presence. The 3 boys wipe away their tears, trying to seem brave in front of their alpha but failing miserably. I stepped forward and gathered all 6 children into my arms, letting them weep into my chest. Whispering comforting words, I walk into the meeting room where the pack is waiting for reassurance. The second I walked through the doors, all eyes were on me. The mothers of the children ran forward and scolded them for disturbing the alpha. I walk up to the center of the stage and begin to tell the pack the news. As some of you may know, your Luna, Charlie, has been captured. The whole room erupted into yells of protest by rogues. And suddenly, those yells intensify. What? Charlie's gone, Connor exclaims. My baby! Charlie's mother cried as her husband tried to comfort his mate. While the majority of the pack was fighting against the rogue attack, Charlie was alerting everyone and helping people get to the safe house. During this time, she was kidnapped. There was blood, I hear several gasps, but it belongs to the rogues. Charlie was not harmed. Some sighed in relief, while some looked just as pissed as before. We are going to attempt to find her. Would everyone raise their hand if they are willing to assist in finding my mate? I understand if you do not, for it may be dangerous. Everyone, even the women and children, raised their hands. At this moment, I feel incredibly proud to be the alpha of such a fantastic group of people. And in this moment, I have hope. Don't worry, my little mate, I'll find you. Chapter 21, Connor's POV, she's gone. My baby sister is gone. I've gotten almost close to her in the 4 months she's been here. She has finally forgiven me for all the things I have done to her. We even agreed to have a movie night this weekend. I'm finally ready to be a brother. A good one. One she deserves. Not that that's going to happen now. And it's all Cole's fault. If he hadn't made her run a warning patrol, she wouldn't have gotten kidnapped. But he seemed more upset than any of us. She was his mate. That thought always put knots in my stomach. While I'll admit that Cole's player ways decreased substantially, he still hooked up quite a few times in the 2 years that Charlie was gone. Connor, the assisting packs are here. Cole's voice invades my thoughts. Since we had no idea where Charlie was, we called in the help of the 3 strongest packs, other than our own, to help. The Strong Paw Pack, the Blooded Pack, and the Crescent Waters Pack. I quickly make my way to the meeting room where they'll be waiting. As I reach the door, the most intoxicating scent hits me like a wall. Mate! I burst open the doors to see the most beautiful girl I have ever seen. She looks at me in awe and shock. Mate, we whisper in union. I run to her with inhuman speed and hug her to me. What's your name, gorgeous? I ask. Eliza, but everyone calls me Ellie. She responded in the most angelic voice I've ever heard. And what might yours be? She has long, flowing blonde hair and captivating blue orbs that take my breath away. Such a pretty name for such a pretty girl. I flashed my 1,000-watt smile, making her giggle. And I'm Connor. Someone nearby clears their throat. I turn to find the whole room staring at us. Cole was the one to clear his throat. While I hate to break you two up, but I don't think her father wants to see her daughter make babies on front of her. I feel my cheeks warm up. Hello. I am Connor Beta of the Half Moon Pack. I'm Beta of the Crescent Waters Pack. I think you can let go of my daughter now. A gruff voice spoke. I followed its direction and saw a man in his mid-50s with a thick, graying mustache. I only tightened my hold on Ellie. My Ellie. Now, doesn't that sound beautiful? Well, before we get down to what will happen with you, Cole looks at me as he talks. Let's get to the matter at hand. 2 hours later, after a long meeting, we agreed that all 3 packs would come to help with patrols, searching, and protection. After the meeting, we discussed that Ellie's mother would gather her things when her pack returned to pack their belongings and bring them back here. After everyone else left, Ellie and I remained in the hallway. I have something to tell you, she said somewhat nervously. I had an urge to put her at ease. Anything, you can tell me anything, I said, trying to reassure her. It's about your sister. And my pack and her stalker. She must have noticed my confused expression because she explained further. And how they're working together. Chapter 22 Recap. Connor's POV. I burst open the doors to see the most beautiful girl I have ever seen. She looks at me in awe and shock. Mate, we whisper in union. I run to her with inhuman speed and hug her to me. What's your name, gorgeous? I ask. Eliza, but everyone calls me Ellie. After everyone else left, Ellie and I remained in the hallway. I have something to tell you, she said somewhat nervously. I had an urge to put her at ease. Anything, you can tell me anything, I said, trying to reassure her. It's about your sister. And my pack and her stalker. She must have noticed my confused expression because she explained further. And how they're working together. Connor's POV. What? I asked, disoriented. My pack, my father, they've been helping her kidnapper. I have been against it from the beginning, but my father says it is for my pack's safety. I do not know who or where the kidnapper is. But my father does, my beautiful mate explains, crying the whole time. If you wish, you may reject me now and I will accept. She bows her head in defeat. Reject her? Does she think I'm going to reject her? After years of waiting for her? It does hurt that her pack assisted in the kidnapping of my poor baby sister, but the sincerity in her eyes suggests that she had no willing part in it. I am not the slightest bit angry at her, but grateful. She put me and my family, whom she had never met, ahead of her own. I will never reject you. I am not angry with you. I am grateful towards you. Thank you. You may have just saved my sister. We need to go talk to my alpha, though. I reply gently, taking her head in my hands and placing a light peck on her lips. She pulls back quickly, looks into my eyes with tears forming in her own, and hugs me, sobs racking through her petite body. It's okay. Calm down, sweetheart. I still love you. I'll always love you. I coo into her ear. Ella, love me, she stutters. She looks so cute when she does that. Her eyes go wide and her lips quiver slightly, those plump, pink lips. I wonder what they would. Back on topic, Connor. Of course. You're my mate, the moon goddess, and the fates picked us for each other for a reason. I plan on figuring that reason out. Who the hell cares if that's some mushy crap? It's how I felt. Oh God, I met her not even an hour ago and I'm already soft. She smiled up at me. I love you, too. Okay, here comes some more of that mushy crap. As she said those simple 3 words, every crappy love song, chick flick, and love letter I've ever seen, heard, or read made sense. Even though she just met me, she still loves me. Earth to Connor. Ellie giggles at me. Let's go see my alpha. I say dazedly. Time-lapse. After at least 45 minutes, filled with a lot of makeout sessions, we finally found Cole. He was sulking in his office. He's been doing a lot of that lately. At first, I thought he was doing it for the show, just to seem like the loving, caring mate his pack expected, but after the first few hours, it was clear that it wasn't. Come in. I hear his powerful voice call after I knock on the large oak doors of his office. As we enter, his face brightens slightly when he sees my mate and me. Yes. Alpha, I respond, we need to talk. And so we do. We told him everything that Ellie had told me. His face remains neutral throughout the whole story. There. I finish, watching as he looks between my mate and me, repeating this process before resting on Ellie. You were not directly involved in this? He asked neutrally. However, I could see the scrutiny in his eyes. No. I tried to distance myself without seeming like I was betraying them. My pack is very paranoid. I realize that you have no reason to trust me, I just want to help. You do realize that your father will be punished, correct? Yes, but I hope he will be willing and that you might be merciful to him and allow him to live. If not, I understand. My mate was being so strong at the moment. Her father was possibly in exile at the moment and she wasn't shedding a single tear. Depends on how much information he has and how much he willingly confides. Cole replied. Thank you, she bowed her head. Well then, let's go talk to your father. He said in a businesslike manner. Time-lapse. It only took about an hour to find Ellie's dad, who I now know is named Jeffrey, and get him into interrogation. Despite the protests of Ellie's mother, who I now know is named Deborah. Now we sit. Jeffrey on one side of the table, Cole and I on the other. After a while, Jeff is the first to speak. Is anyone gonna tell me why the hell I'm here? I decide to help you find your Luna, and I am treated with disrespect. Heartless and deceiving men do not deserve respect, Cole stated through clenched teeth. I don't know WH-. You know pretty damn well what he's talking about, you dirty conniving little dash. Connor! Cole silences me using his alpha voice. Enough. Go find your mate, I can deal with this. He states firmly. I have no choice but to oblige. So I left the criminal interrogation, which is located in the basement of the West Wing cells, and made my way to my mates and my room. I know. We agreed to share a room at the meeting earlier. I almost squealed like a giddy schoolgirl. Almost. I walk in, the sight before me making me halt, wide-eyed. There stands my mate, slightly moist, presumably from a shower, in nothing but a towel again from the shower. The towel is hugged tightly around her body, showing off every perfection of it. Her gorgeous blonde hair falls in soft, wet waves down her back, and she looks at me with wide, blue, doe eyes. Just as I'm about to pounce on her, after about 10 minutes of simply staring at her, Cole's voice fills my mind through the pack link. Hurry! Get all the wers old enough to fight to come out front the pack house. We're going to get Charlie. Fine, I reply. I groan out loud. They found out where Charlie is. I inform Ellie, frowning. I have to go. I really just want to stay here with you like that, or maybe even dash. My perverted sentence is cut off by my mate saying, not happening, bucko. Now go find your sister. She pushes me out of the room. So now here I am standing outside the pack house with every available fighter waiting for Cole to arrive. Let's go. I hear a mighty voice cry. I, along with the rest of the men and a few women outside, turn to see our alpha standing there, looking determined. Where are we going? I asked him through our private mind link. Dark Raven Pack. She's just outside it in their designated rogue area. He tells me. Every pack must have a designated rogue area where rogues are free to camp without being threatened. Ours is about 5 miles outside of our boundary. As we speed through the forest, all that can be heard is the heavy footfall of the wolves behind us. The Dark Raven Pack is only about an hour away, but we are speeding, so we'll be there in 20 minutes tops. We've been traveling for 20 already. Cole is about 10 minutes ahead of us. He could probably have been there already, but he knows that he'll need as much backup as possible. We have no idea what we're going up against. It could be 20 men, it could be 200. As I was wrapped up in my thoughts, I barely noticed that everyone had stopped and that we had arrived. The Dark Raven Pack was already waiting. I could see Cole's eyes squinting as he and the other alpha had a private mind-link conversation. Alphas can do that. Cole barks, letting the members of our pack that are here know that we are ready to go while nodding to the Dark Raven Alpha, implying that he would lead. 10 minutes away. Cole tells me before I can ask. And we run. We got there in about 8 minutes. It was a small building, more like a shed, surrounded by Charlie's scent and 2 guards. Sleeping guards. Sleeping, male, werewolf guards who also smelled like Charlie. This was the equivalent of a very, very pissed Cole. They might not have even touched her, not that Cole cares about that. He killed them before they could even open their eyes. They were collapsed on a table, looking like they had been playing cards, their heads close together. Cole took this as an invitation to take hold of both the men's heads and crush them in a matter of seconds. Quick and silent, just what this whole operation needed to be. A small portion of us head into the shed, Cole and I at the front, still in wolf form, while the rest of us enter the shack. We enter a small room with 3 rooms connected to it. Cole and I approach the door where Charlie's scent is most prominent and open it. Stairs. We climb down. A door. Strange sounds beyond the door. The room ahead appears to be soundproof because the sounds are muffled and they shouldn't be werewolf hearing. I turn the knob. We had already shifted back and changed into the shorts that some of the wolves had tied to their leg just in case our wolves couldn't fit through the staircase. As the door easily opens, I am struck with déjà vu. Pressed up against a wall is Charlie being sucked on by. Mike? I asked, bewildered. I am so completely baffled. I'm frozen in my place with shock, although apparently, Cole isn't having the same issues as I am. Chapter 23, Charlie's POV. I watch as a wicked grin crosses Mike's face. Is anyone else confused as all hell? Because I certainly am. But? Who? How? What? Fucking hell. I shriek, breaking out of my shock. So you're confused. Well, I guess that's understandable. You think. I spit sarcastically. They'll let you off with a warning this time, but next time you will be punished for talking to me that way. Mike says through clenched teeth. He takes my silence as a cue to continue. Let's start from the beginning. Shall we? Well, we were in 9th grade and I asked you out, you said no. 10th grade, I flirted. Same result. I've always liked you. No, loved you. Yet you can't realize that you feel the same way towards me. So, a little while after you left me, I was heartbroken. But then I found my mate. My spirits were lifted. She sees me, I run to her, she slaps me, kisses another guy, and rejects me. Just like you did. Then I remember you. Cole had rejected you as well. We'd be the perfect match. So, I had my mother transferred to Paris. He smiles menacingly at me. Her boss was so easy to bribe. We moved in about 20 minutes away from your school. I researched you. Your principal is good friends with my mother, and he keeps all his files at his house. And well, you know the rest. Any questions? 1. Ask away, my dear. Okay, I like the name. If you were in Paris at the same time I was, how were you here when I was at the party? It made no sense. Ah, good question. Well, I would visit here and there. But I'd have some friends deliver my notes. I was visiting the day before you left. I flew back that day, they all thought I was out visiting a friend. His eyes darken as he says the next part. When I realized that you hid from me, I decided that I was going to return. I took the next flight out of Paris. And again, you know the rest. I recall the day he mentioned earlier. When he asked me out, but come on. He was a player, my brother's best friend, and I thought it was all a joke. Wouldn't you? And the flirting? He was a flirt. He flirted with every girl with boobs and an ass. I wonder who his mate was, though. She's partially the reason I'm here. Okay, that's a little drastic, but I need someone else to blame. I mean, Mike made it pretty clear that he dropped a ton of hints. Who's your mate? Tanya Harris. He says, his voice filled with sadness. Tanya? Not to be rude, but she was sorta a geek. And I mean that in the best way. She was smart enough to be taking classes a year ahead of us. She was a gorgeous girl. She had pretty long black hair and bright green eyes. She was kinda short. She was shy though. And after me, she was the school's #1 torment. Connor was horrible to her. He would pick on her and push her around and stuff. It was terrible. She rejected you? Not that I blame her. He is a psychopath, but I'm pretty sure he would have had to have done something. Yes, he clenched his jaw. What did you do? I asked with more confidence than I thought I had. Her birthday is a couple weeks after yours. I didn't know she was mine at the time. I was making out with some hot chick when she arrived at school. I wasn't paying attention. But she was. She cried out and that's what got my attention. I ran to her to make sure she was okay. She slapped me straight across the face, grabbed the dude closest to her and kissed him. She rejected me. She moved. She told me that I didn't deserve a mate. You don't. I tell him, feeling proud of myself for actually speaking my mind, then regretting it when his head snaps toward me. I believe I told you that I will not tolerate you disobeying me. And here's the fun part. The punishment. I audibly gulp. He slowly circles me, stopping behind me and quickly untying my hands so as not to get burned. He then grips my arm tightly and pushes me up against the wall. I begin to thrash around as he presses himself against me. That is until his, wants to say hello. You deserve this, he whispers. Chapter 24, Charlie's POV meeting Tyler Ugh. 1 week in this school, and I still have 0 friends. I try to listen to the teacher, but the way she drones on and on bores my brain. Then something she says catches my eye, well, ear. Today you will be given a project and a partner. She begins to list off names. Charlotte Skye and Tyler James. I look in the direction she had glanced in to see who I assume is Tyler, already walking towards me. Hi, I'm Tyler. You're Charlotte, right? He asks once he reaches the seat that I'm sitting at. Yup, but please call me Charlie. I hate it when people call me Charlotte. I feel like a spider harassing that poor pig. You can call me Ty then. We begin to discuss the project and agree to meet in his dorm after school. At the dorm, hi. I say to Ty as he opens the door for me. Hello, Charlie. He sends me a creepy smile and locks the door. Why are you locking the door? I ask. Can you say creeper? So no one can get in to save you, he replies before coming at me. Once he is within reach, I react quickly and jab my fingers into his neck, hitting the correct pressure point and causing his legs to give in. He sort of screams, some squeaks. It was a joke, he says between pants of breath. Oh my God. I am so sorry. I apologize. Was that a joke? My bad. Oh Charlie, this could be the start of a beautiful friendship. First day of private school, here goes nothing. I push open the doors to Moonshine Private School. The place I will be living for the next 2 years or so. I am met by hustling young wolves desperate to get to their first periods on time. I got a tour yesterday and memorized my schedule last night, so I know where to go. I felt uncomfortable and awkward in my pleated blue and white skirt and deep blue polo, both of which, by the way, are too tight for their good. I found my way to my first period with ease. Stepping into the classroom, most people stopped talking and stared. I stood in the doorway watching them watch me for a good 2 to 3 minutes. Finally, I got irritated. Didn't your mothers ever teach you that it's rude to stare? I snapped. Some continued staring, shocked, and others quickly snapped their heads down to their desks. Oh, but it's just so hard to stop staring at such a pretty lady such as yourself. A deep voice says. I look over to see a guy with short blonde hair, chocolate brown eyes, a faint scar on his left eyebrow, and a lot of muscle. Player. Wait, does that line work? My faith in the female race was just lost. Does that line actually work? His smirk falters slightly. Typically, he replies, my faith in the females of this planet has just been lost. Quite the talker, aren't we? He asks. You shouldn't talk so much. Not attractive. Oh, and you're such a panty dropper. How'd you get the scar? Get in a fight with a squirrel. I shoot back. Why would I fight with a squirrel? Because you decided that you wanted to grow a pair, but you couldn't, so you decided to steal the squirrel's nuts. But the squirrel didn't like that, so he fought you for them. I mouthed the squirrel one to everyone else. I'm Mason, he tells me. And I didn't ask. Well, this will be interesting. 9th grade Mike asking Charlie out before Connor spread the diary. I sighed as I walked through the hallways. My binder was at least 3 times my body weight. My feet slid on the floor as I walked. School, where the term cruel and unusual punishment came from. I'm at my locker when I feel a tap on my shoulder. I turn to see Mike, one of my brother's friends. Hey Mike. I greet him, turning back to my locker. Hey Charlie. Would you go to the movies on Saturday with me? Oh, are you and Connor and Cole and all of them going out? I ask. He is not asking me out. He can't be. I look left and right really quickly to see if any of Mike's friends are watching, a sure sign that this is all a joke. And sure enough, Cole stands a few feet away, looking intently at us. Nope, just you and me. He smiled, thinking that I was going to say yes. No, I reply bluntly. What? Endetto, I spell out for him. Move try, though. I hope the bet wasn't that much money. I walk away, chuckling to myself. Mike likes me, that's so possible. Gathering a flirting Mike, I go to sit next to Connor when I am suddenly pulled onto a lap. Sit by me, baby. Mike coos into my ear. Sounds promising, I say in a cheery tone. But no. I push him away. He looks slightly angry for a second, but then, just as quickly as it came, it went, and he's laughing along with the rest of us. Connor had brought me to the movies. His friends and mine were all gathered around me. Suddenly, an arm wrapped around my waist from behind. I hear Mike start whispering in my ear. What do you say we start our own romance in that janitor's closet? He pervertedly suggests. Yeah, no, he narrows his eyes slightly as if he were shunning me for saying such a thing. I was driving a very drunk Cole and an even more drunk Mike back to their houses since they were in no state to drive. Mike was, somehow, still conscious while Cole was passed out in the back seat. As we parked in the driveway of Cole's house, I felt a hand on my knee. I looked down to see Mike's hand slowly raising his palm, taking some of my dress with it. I slap his hand away. Stop it. You're drunk. I scolded him. I'm not. R2. If I were drunk, I would have confessed my love for you already. He says, his eyes fluttering closed. Love? What the hell? Chapter 25 Recap. Charlie's POV. So you're confused. Well, I guess that's understandable. You think. I say sarcastically. I'll let you off with a warning this time, but next time, you will be punished for talking to me like that, Mike says through clenched teeth. He takes my silence as a cue to continue. Let's start from the beginning, shall we? Well, we were in 9th grade and I asked you out, you said no. 10th grade, I flirted. Same result. I've always liked you. No, loved you. Yet you can't realize that you feel the same way towards me. So, a little while after you left me, I was heartbroken. But then I found my mate. My spirits were lifted. She sees me, I run to her, she slaps me, kisses another guy, and rejects me. Just like you did. Then I remember you. Cole had rejected you as well. We'd be the perfect match. So I had my mother transferred to Paris. He smiles menacingly at me. Her boss was so easy to bribe. We moved in about 20 minutes away from your school. I researched you. Your principal is good friends with my mother and he keeps all his files at his house. And well, you know the rest. Any questions? Her birthday is a couple weeks after yours. I didn't know she was mine at the time. I was making out with someone else when she arrived at school. I wasn't paying attention. But she was. She cried out and that's what got my attention. I ran to her to make sure she was okay. She slapped me straight across the face, grabbed the guy closest to her, and kissed him. She rejected me. She moved. She told me that I didn't deserve a mate. You don't? I tell him, feeling proud of myself for actually speaking my mind, then regretting it when his head snaps toward me. I believe I told you that I will not tolerate you disobeying me. And here's the fun part, the punishment. He then grips my arm tightly and pushes me up against the wall. I begin to struggle as he presses himself against me. That is until I feel the uncomfortable shift. You deserve this, he whispers. Charlie's POV. He presses his lips on mine, and I find myself comparing his kiss to Cole's. Cole's lips were soft, Mike's were rough, and not in a pleasant way. No, in the you need some lip balm kind of way. Cole is needy in a passionate way, and Mike is desperate in an unsettling way. He licks my lips, asking for entrance. Yeah, no, I deny it. I swear this is déjà vu, but instead of pulling my hair, he stomps on my foot. Mother, he stops my sentence by forcefully kissing me again. But I don't think that if I scream, anyone will hear. He continues to harass me, moving his hands all over me until he finds the hem of my shorts. Before I can even fight back, he's already pulled them off, never once breaking the kiss if it even qualifies as that. I begin to thrash and kick. I don't get very far. He just presses all his weight on me, only giving me a chance to breathe when he decides my neck is going to be his new focus. Although he's kissing my neck now, he places his hand over my mouth to prevent me from screaming. My eyes are glassy as I look around the room for something, anything, to save me. As Mike places his mouth back on mine and moves his hands up my shirt, the door bangs open. Again, déjà vu. Connor stands in his spot, shocked, while Cole marches towards us with an angered and relieved look on his face. He grabs Mike by the collar. Stay. Punch. The. Kick. Away. Kick and punch. From. Me. Her. And he throws Mike to the ground. I think Mike is out cold. I know I should feel sympathy, but I can't find it in me. I fall to the ground, sobbing uncontrollably. Why? I have no idea. I'm just relieved he didn't go as far as he could have. Cole is instantly at my side, comforting me. If I can't have her, no one can. I hear Mike growl before a puff of white smoke suddenly blinds me. Cole shields me, wrapping his body around mine. But not before I heard Connor growl out, he's gone. Chapter 26, Cole's POV. I finally have her here in my arms. She's mine, and she's not going to leave again. Now, hold up, buddy. I hear my mate's soothing voice say as she pulls away from my embrace. I growl, telling her to stay put. She obliges but leans as far away from me as my arms will allow her. I appreciate you saving me. I really do. But who's to say that I should forgive you? This is pretty much the only thing that you've done that's forgiveness worthy. I stare at her, disbelief and heartbreak clearly written on my face. Did she really say that? I had just gotten her back and she was already denying me her beautiful body. What? I ask weakly. But then I feel anger instead of sadness. How can you even say that? I am your mate and your alpha. You were supposed to respect me. I will not take the kind of disrespect, especially not in front of my pack. I tell her, referring to the members behind us who are shamelessly eavesdropping. She raises her eyebrow at me, seeming unaffected. Cole, just show me that I can trust you. That you really want me and not just your mate. Isn't that the same thing? She gets up and walks over to her brother, leaving me to watch her in pain. But I'm only seated for a few minutes before a plan is formulated in my mind. Oh, Charlie, prepare to be wooed. Chapter 27, Charlie's POV. Cole continues to hold me. But I can't help but think of all the stuff Mike said. And I don't know Cole. He hasn't necessarily made me feel overly welcome. Now hold up, buddy. I begin to pull away from him. He growls, showing his protest. I go along with it, but I lean as far away from him as I can. The closer I am to him, the more clouded my thoughts are. I appreciate you saving me. I really do. But who's to say that I should forgive you? This is pretty much the only thing that you've done that's forgiveness worthy. There. My voice might not have shown it, but I'm very nervous right now. He stares at me for a couple of minutes, looking heartbroken. Oh God, don't feel guilty. Don't feel guilty. I chant over and over in my head. What? He asks weakly, as if saying that simple word was draining his energy. Then his jaw hardens, and he looks angry instead of forlorn, like he had. How can you even say that? I am your mate and your alpha. You were supposed to respect me. I will not take the kind of disrespect, especially not in front of my pack. He unknowingly uses his alpha tone on me. I know that he's referring to the few pack members behind us who are listening in without an ounce of shame. I raise my eyebrow questioningly at him, completely unaffected. Since we're mates, I have to be pretty emotional, and he has to be pretty pissed for me to submit to him. Cole, just show me that I can trust you. That you really want me and not just your mate. That came out wrong. I mean that I need to know that he wants me, not just a mate. He wants to know who I am, to love me because he loves me and not just because of the bond. I get up out of his arms while he's in his shocked state and walk over to Connor, leaving Cole to figure out his priorities. Connor gives me a big hug when he sees me. What do you think you're doing? Saying that kind of thing to your mate, nonetheless your alpha. He scolds me. I laugh in his face. Hard. I just need him to know how I feel. I shrug. So, Connor drawls out. He's up to something. Just tell me. I deadpan. He's trying to prolong telling me something. What? He asks, looking scared. Oh, this is gonna be good. You have something to tell me, so just say it. I sorta, maybe, kinda found my mate. He mumbles. I'm sorry, I totally just heard you wrong. I heard you say that you found your mate. I giggle at the unlikeliness of that happening. I did. He looks down, blushing. You got her pregnant already, didn't you? I point an accusing finger at him, trying to contain my laughter. What, he asks, horrified. No. That is how the next few hours go. We teased each other back and forth. Chapter 28, Mike's POV. They think that they'll have a happy ending. Ride off into the sunset and let the big bad wolf that got in the way of their fairy tale rot in hell. Not quite. You know that feeling of loving someone so much and then they do something so bad? But even though what they did is wrong, do you still love them? That's what I'm feeling now. Charlie will still be mine. She'll have to be taught a lesson. Images of what her punishment would be like ran through my mind. I smirk at the picture of her that lies on my desk. Boss? I hear Rico ask from his seat across from me. We need a new plan. I need her. Yes, sir. All the rogues are ready to fight. They are just waiting for you. Go ahead. My faithful minion replied. We need to wait just a week. Everything will be ready by then. He left me. I have to wait a little while longer until that pack is at its weakest. The rogues will attack, but this time they'll go to the house. They will give no mercy. No one will get in the way. We will take Charlie and transport her to a location far away from here, to Canada. The only werewolves there are rogues. They won't rat us out. I'll buy a house and Charlie will live with me. She may need to remain in the basement for a little while until I have prepared for her punishment. After her punishment has occurred, she will stay in the basement with me. Then, after she shows submission and gives in to me, she will be moved up to our room. She will spend most of her time there. Wouldn't want her running off. And lastly, she will bear my pups. Her punishment will be the most fun part. She will fight it at first, but then she will be begging for more. Or well, she better be. Sir, I hear a voice say. I look to my left to see one of my younger fighters. May I talk to you? I suppose. I motion to the chair across from me. Once he is seated, I ask him what his purpose is. Sir, I believe I have found my mate. But she is not rogue, she is your mate, Charlie's cousin. I was wondering if he trails off. I chuckle darkly. You want us to take her when we take Charlie, correct? Yes, sir, but she has a little brother. I know it's a lot to ask, but could you spare him? You do not have to take him, just do not kill him. I suppose. Now be off. I have work to do. Thank you, sir. He replies with a grateful smile before scurrying off. A few items pass before Rico appears. Boss? You really gonna salvage the kid's mate and her brother? He asks incredulously. Of course not. But I'm not gonna tell him that. I grin wickedly. Chapter 29. Charlie's POV. Cole was ignoring me. And worse than that, he was with other girls. Not like betting them, but taking them out on dates, kissing them right in front of me. It's been 3 days since the attack. I had to spend a couple of hours with a werewolf therapist to see if I was insane. They planned to keep me for a week. I may or may not have mortified them so much that they need their own therapist now. Needless to say, I was released early. But Cole was switching girls every hour or so. With all the lunch dates that he's been on, he must have gained at least 30 pounds. Then he'll go out for runs in wolf form and come back naked or in just boxers, purposely walking right by me. Now, as I watched him flirt with a redhead, I've had enough. Two can play that game. I walk up to the biggest man whore in the pack, besides Mike, who no longer counts, Sean. Hey, Sean. I say in the most seductive voice I can. He had been texting. I suppose the way that I put my head on his shoulder and use my finger to turn his head toward mine is enough to draw his attention. Hey, Charlie. How are you? He greeted me, his voice husky. I giggle flirtatiously, though I feel like puking. Wherever my skin touches him, it feels like roaches crawling all over me. He boldly grabs my waist and places me on his lap, straddling him. That's nice, he says, even though I didn't respond. I giggle again, only this time adding a bat of the eyes. Sean's gaze flickers to my lips and back. His head slowly moves toward mine, and I resist the urge to glance at Cole to see if he'll save me. Guess not. I think it's Sean's lips are on mine. He wastes no time in grabbing my ass and head and jamming his tongue down my throat. Oh God, I think I'm gonna barf. And cry. Barf and cry. Before I make a fool of myself by doing that, I'm ripped off Sean's lap and pulled into a hard chest. The right chest. Cole's chest. Don't give in. Don't give in. I think over and over again, trying to remain tense under his relaxing touch. Mine! I hear Cole growl menacingly as Sean says some idiot remark about how he was enjoying that. Oh, here we go again. Chapter 30. Cole's POV. Phase 1 of my plans, get her jealous. Phase 1.5, get her wanting me. To complete Phase 1, I've been flirting with every available girl in the pack. Going on back-to-back dates, kissing anyone willing, in front of Charlie. I'm also ignoring her, making her think that all my attention is on the girls. I haven't bedded one yet, I'm not that mad, that can bring severe pain for Charlie. To complete Phase 1.5, I've been doing frequent border control and going for runs, anything to get an excuse to walk past her naked. Or, when there are mated girls present, my boxers. Now, as I flirt with a redhead named Mandy or Candy or something like that, I wish Charlie would give up so I can commence Phase 2. I can feel her burning gaze on the side of my face. I have to resist the urge to see if she's biting her lip again. Though I do not turn, I feel a shift in the atmosphere. What used to be cautious is now dangerous. Like standing on the edge of a cliff, then suddenly slipping downward. That's how I feel now with Sandy, or whatever her name is, like I'm slipping off a cliff into the canyon of desperation. All I want is for my mate to accept me. I bet Mike said something that made her practically reject me. Mike. We have been working our asses off trying to find him. It's like he vanished into thin air. No scent, no trail, no evidence. I could swear he's dead, except we haven't found a body. I'm so busy ignoring Dandy that I almost don't catch the sudden spark of a conversation behind us. Almost. I quickly turned to find my mate talking to Sean, the biggest man whore in the pack. I decided to listen to their conversation. I hear Charlie giggle. Charlie hates giggling. Then, suddenly, Sean's hands are on her waist and she's on his lap. That's nice. He replies, even though Charlie never responded. His head slowly begins to close in. I'm already shaking with anger. But once his lips are on hers and his hands on her ass, I lose it. I march over to them and yank her into my chest. Mine! I roar. Sean cowers in fear before bolting for the door like the coward he is. How can she do this? How can she be with another boy right in front of me? Okay, so maybe it's similar to what I did, but hers is worse. A kiss and she's making out. So perhaps I did it multiple times and this is her first time, but still. Cole? What the hell do you think you're doing? I was starting to enjoy that. At her words, I feel my animal side take over, and all I see is red. Chapter 31. Charlie's POV. Cole? What the hell do you think you're doing? I was starting to enjoy that. I just wanted to see him jealous. Is that so bad? I think as I watch his eyes change from their usual dark brown to a deep black, he begins to shake, a telltale sign that a werewolf is about to shift. I know that a mate's touch can calm them down, though. I cautiously place my hand on his cheek. I hate giving in to him so easily, but I don't need him hurting people because of me. I begin to murmur soothing words into his ear. Shoo, it's okay. I'm here. Calm down. That was stupid of me. I didn't mean it. Calm down. Don't worry. I gently stroke his cheek. His shaking lessens. His eyes lighten slightly. He roughly grabs my waist and pulls me closer to him. He buries his face in my hair, inhaling my scent. I'm okay with this until his head slips farther down and I feel his lips on my neck. Cole. I have to fight to keep his name from sounding like a moan. Cole. Okay, maybe that one sounds a little more like a moan. That's it, baby. But let's take this to my room first, he whispers in my ear. But it's not his voice, it's his wolf's. He lifts me up, wrapping my legs around his waist. I continue to fight against him half-heartedly. My willpower is slowly melting away, though, as he trails kisses down my jawline. I'm in such bliss that I only faintly notice Cole opening the door to his bedroom and closing it with his foot. I don't even fight the size now. It's only when my back hits something soft, the bed, that I regain some of my common sense. Cole, stop, I order. I should have said it a little bit softer, for he lets out a dominant growl. Do not ever talk to me that way. I feel a light prick on my shoulder, but realize too late that it's his canines elongating. He lightly nips at me, and I wince, feeling sharp discomfort. He then gently licks the spot where he bit. After a moment, he begins to kiss my skin again. Instead of reacting at all, I let him continue, though I'm still aware of what's happening. Suddenly, there's a knock at the door. He growls in frustration and marches over to the door. It's then that I realize I'm crying. Cole angrily throws open the door. Connor stands there, looking cautious. Someone's here to see you. They have information about Mike, he says nervously. But once he glances behind Cole and sees my tear-streaked face, his expression hardens with anger. I shake my head, hoping he understands. I don't want anyone to fight over me. Connor lightly nods but narrows his eyes as if to say, this isn't over yet. Cole grabs Connor's arm and walks off without a second glance at me. I lay there on the bed for what seems like years, though it's probably only been an hour, one thought racing through my mind. He marked me without my permission. Chapter 32, Cole's POV. All thoughts of my newly marked mate vanish as I lead Connor to the living room where the informant is supposed to be. For some reason, Connor remains tense, but I'm too eager to care. I reach the living room in record time to find a young boy, maybe 15 or 16. Is he the informant? Alpha. He greets me with a bow. Hello. May I ask why you're here? I ask rather rudely. You, Well, my name is Matthew, sir. My mate is in your pack. I was born a rogue. My father and my brother are both soldiers for Sir Michael. They said that if I want to remain a part of their family that I need to too. Well, I asked Sir Michael to spare my mate and her brother. He said yes. But then I heard him talking and he was lying to me. I just want to help. Matthew manages to stutter out. How can you help? And who is your mate? I make sure to use my full alpha voice and watch as he flinches from the force of my tone. Her name is Daniela. And there is going to be an attack. I know where, when, and what they plan on doing. He replies confidently. Daniela. There's only one Daniela in this pack, Charlie's cousin. Charlie. In the heat of the moment, I had forgotten what I had done. My wolf, well, I had marked her against her wishes. She hadn't wanted to be marked. I can't believe that I did a thing like that. And afterwards, she just lay there, letting me kiss her. My wolf was too much in a state of bliss and pride to notice. But I did. The little human at the back of his head was watching everything happen but was unable to do anything like watching TV or reading a book. But this isn't TV. And this isn't a book. This is real life. Sir? Matthew's voice brings me out of my little daze. Yes. I ask weakly. You blanked out. I was worried I had done something. He informed me, sounding genuinely worried. It's not you who's done something. I suddenly realized why Connor was so tense earlier. I turned to him, wide-eyed, shaking my head. Dude, I'm so sore. I begin. Sorry? He starts in a deadly calm voice. You're sorry? I just had an epiphany and realized why my baby sister was in your bed crying. What is wrong with you? She was crying? That is all I can bring myself to ask. Was it that bad? That's all you have to say for yourself? Really? She literally just told you that she hadn't forgiven you and now you go do a thing like that? His hands are balled into fists and his eyes are blazing. I cut myself off. Don't. He growls before I feel a pain in my nose as he punches me. And more as he kicks my stomach. He continues to hit and kick me and I don't fight back, knowing it's exactly what I deserve. But then I hear a gasp. Chapter 32, Connor's POV. My anger continues to rise as I watch Cole talk to the boy, Matthew, seeming to have forgotten what he did to my sister. I'm having a hard time figuring out what it was he did. I would have smelled it if he had mated her, and both were fully clothed. I doubt she would be so upset about kissing. That leaves. I clench my fists and try to breathe slowly. I can feel my wolf urging me to let him out. The bastard marked her without permission. Her name is Daniela. And there is going to be an attack. I know where, when, and what they plan on doing. The boy, Matthew, tells him, Daniela? As in my cousin Daniela? Mates with a rogue? Oh hell no. Sir. Matthew calls out to Cole. Yes. His voice sounds weak, almost as if he's about to faint. Looks like someone just realized that they're in deep shit. You blanked out. I was worried I had done something. The boy sounds genuinely worried, so maybe we'll see about him and Daniela. Maybe. It's not you who's done something. Suddenly Cole's attention snaps to me. Dude, I'm so sorry. Sorry? I ask in a deadly calm tone. You're sorry? I just had an epiphany and realized why my baby sister was in your bed crying. What is wrong with you? She was crying? That's all you have to say for yourself? Really? She literally just told you that she hadn't forgiven you and now you go do a thing like that. He cuts himself off. Don't. My anger gets the better of me and I let my fist fly. Kick after kick and punch after punch I hurl at him, and yet he doesn't fight back once. I mutter a long string of curse words all directed at him. I hear a gasp behind me and freeze. I sniff the air and curse under my breath as Charlie's scent fills my nose. Lemons and roses. Suddenly she's at my side checking for any injuries. Are you okay? Did he hit you? Why would you hit him? You moron. He's an alpha. He could kick your ass worse than Grandma did. Did he provoke you? Do you need a doctor? I'll call the pack doctor. She rambles, then gets up, presumably to get the pack doctor. I smirk down at Cole's hurt expression. He's offended that she's more worried about me than him. He appears to be in bad shape. His nose is twisted at an odd angle and it's gushing blood. His eye is slightly swollen, indicating that he might get a black eye, and he has a cut on his cheek. He'll probably heal within the hour though because of the werewolf healing he possesses. You might want to check him first. I point behind me, directing the pack doctor once he arrives. Charlie comes up to me, smacks me, and then hugs me. You moron, if he fought back, you'd be dead, but thank you. Her voice was muffled by my shirt. You're welcome, I think. Charlie. I hear a voice behind me. I growl, pulling my little sister closer to me. Cole comes around to where I can see him. In the weakest voice he's ever dared speak in, he begs. Please. I sigh and look down at Charlie, who is staring at a wall. That's such a cool wall. I'm going to go say hi to it. She suddenly exclaims and begins to walk toward them. Cole stops her by grabbing onto her arm. I growl a warning and he growls back. Charlie glares down at the hand on her arm with such hatred that I'm sure at any second it will simultaneously combust. Cole, don't. She hisses through clenched teeth. He pulls her to him. I growl again, warning him that if he doesn't remove himself from her, I will pounce, though my efforts go to the waste and he ignores me. Charlie, I'm so very sorry. I don't know what I was thinking. You just seemed so willing at first. Please forgive me. Just stop. Charlie closes her eyes and sighs. Why? Cole attempts to sound brave but really sounds quite weak. Because, if you continue, I'm afraid, I'll forgive you. She seems so defeated and it breaks my heart. A faint smile appears on Cole's face. I haven't yet though. She rips herself off of him and places him back by my side. And probably won't. Chapter 33, Charlie's POV. I walk down the steps to find my brother attacking my mate. I have to restrain my wolf from attacking my dearest brother. Instead, I focus on the fact that Connor doesn't hit unless provoked. That means Cole may have hit. That means he may be hurt. I quickly run to his side, checking for any injuries. If there's so much as a scratch, Cole's dead. Are you okay? Did he hit you? Why would you hit him? You moron. He's an alpha. He could kick your ass worse than Grandma did. Did he provoke you? Do you need a doctor? I'll call the pack doctor. I frantically ramble before jumping up and retrieving the pack doctor from his office. He looks at me with wary eyes when I show up at his door, but 2 words and he is on his feet. The alpha. You might want to check him first. Connor points behind him at Cole after seeing that the doctor has arrived. I glare at him, upset that he just assumes that he's fine. I walk up to the moron that I am forced to call my brother and slap him. But I can't help but engulf him in a bear hug as well. I was seriously worried. He and I had gotten a lot closer since I first arrived here. He says that he wants his mate to be a little more comfortable before I meet her, though, so I haven't yet. Though, from what I hear, she's a lovely girl. You moron, if he fought back, you'd be dead, but thank you. I don't know if he heard me, seeing as my voice was muffled by his shirt. You're welcome, I think, he replies, chuckling lightly. Charlie. A weak voice asks from somewhere behind me. Connor growls possessively and pulls me to him. Cole comes into our line of view. Then he speaks in a voice that literally breaks my heart. Please. I will keep my eyes on the wall across the room, afraid that if I look at Cole for even a second, I'll forgive him. That's such a cool wall. I'm going to go say hi to it. I say cheerily before making my way over. Cole shoots his arm out, grabs hold of mine, and successfully stops me in my tracks. I faintly hear a warning growl from Connor, directed at Cole, and he growls back. I glare down at the arm, hating how it makes me feel so right. Cole, don't. I hiss, my teeth clenched, afraid that if I relax, I'll jump into his arms. I'm suddenly pulled to him and he holds me close, ignoring Connor as he growls again. Charlie, I'm so very sorry. I don't know what I was thinking. You just seemed so willing at first. Please forgive me. Just stop. I close my eyes and sigh. Why does this need to be so stressful? Why? Cole asks. I'm sure he was trying to be strong, but he failed miserably, making it sound more like a whimper. Because, if you continue, I'm afraid, I'll forgive you. I let out a defeated breath. A small smile appears on Cole's face. I haven't yet, though. I remove myself from his stronghold, placing myself next to my brother. And probably won't. The smile disappears and instead his eyes flash from his usual color to his wolf and back repeatedly. He must be arguing with his wolf. He then turns and storms off. I hear an awkward cough come from behind us. I turn to find a young boy with shaggy blonde hair and big brown eyes standing there, looking at me with wide eyes. It's you. I never thought I'd actually meet you. Well, I suppose I would have. My mate is your cousin and all. And you are Luna, or well, I think. I mean, unless Connor cuts him off by growling at him. Which he won't. I'll help in every aspect that I can. I was just making conversation. Speaking of, am I allowed to see Daniela? He rambles on continually. Daniela? As in little Daniela? As in dancer Daniela? I ask, my eyes widening. This boy, presumably a rogue, is my innocent little cousin, mate? Of course you can see her. I watch as an excited grin crosses his face. That is after we have a little talk. His face falls instantly. About what? He stutters nervously. You and my baby cousin. Now, she's the more innocent one of her friends, so don't you dare try anything. She's quite sensitive at times, so watch it. She comes crying to me once and I will have a lot of fun torturing you. And don't even think about insulting her dancing, intelligence, brother, or room. Do that and I won't have to kill you. No sex for another 2 years, and when it does happen, always use protection. No impregnation until you guys are in your mid-20s. Got it? His face is burning by the end of my little speech. Right up those stairs, down the hall to the left, 12th door on the right. Go get her, champ. I ruffle his hair and pat his back. I watch him scamper up the stairs. Oh, and one more thing, he looks back at me, seeming terrified. No kissing until the 3rd date. I smile as his face heats up even more. Chapter 34. Cole's POV. I had punched a hole in my office wall. Again. I still hadn't fixed the ones from before, but I had gotten it newly furnished. Now it was a mess again. How can she do that? Easy, she can't. Now that she is marked, she'll feel even more strongly attracted to me. It won't be long until it starts hurting to be away from me. She might even go into heat. There isn't a definite rule of thumb when it comes to females and heat. It's different for all females. Some do and some don't. It usually depends on how the pairs, the mates of wolves, feel. If the wolves feel the need to mate, the female will experience heat. If the wolves want the relationship to work itself out, then the female won't go through heat. Heat is when the female wolf becomes needy. The only way to stop her from feeling so needy is to mate fully. Every unmated wolf in the area will feel the pull towards her. If the need doesn't drive the male crazy, then jealousy will. I hope Charlie doesn't go through heat. I don't even want to think about all the male pack members that would be dead. Many of my warriors are unmated, so quite a few of them would probably end up going after her. I need to get these thoughts of Charlie out of my head. They're making me think of her too much. I keep running through the afternoon's events, thinking I missed something. I'm forgetting something. Then it hits me. I stood up from the chair I had been sitting in and ran like the devil himself was on my tail. I make it downstairs just in time to catch Connor and Charlie walking out of the room. "Wait!" I call, stopping them in their tracks. "What?" Connor snaps. I flash him a look, warning him that I will let my wolf out if he snaps at me like that again. "Where did Matt go? I really need to talk to him. How could I have forgotten that he mentioned a fight?" "He's with his mate, and why do you need to talk to him so badly?" "Didn't you already?" Charlie asks, her tone cold. I did talk to him, but I got a little sidetracked and forgot that he mentioned an attack. I quietly but hurriedly tell them. "Just go to Daniela's room, I'm sure they'll understand." Connor tells me coldly. At the same time, Charlie asks, "Attack? What attack? Does it have to do with Mike?" The siblings turn to glare at each other. "Yes," I tell her, then dash for the stairs. I follow Matt's scent to Daniela's room. The door is white and features pastel-colored swirls. I knock twice. Not even seconds later, the door swings open to reveal Daniela. She has a wide, bright smile on her face. "Hello, Alpha. How can I help you?" Daniela has always been one of the sweetest and most innocent pack members. "Hello, Daniela. May I speak with your mate? There are some things that we haven't finished discussing." I motion towards Matt, who is sitting on the edge of her bed with a dazed look on his face. "Is everything okay?" Daniela steps sideways slightly as if to block her mate from harm. "I mean no harm to you or your mate," I say in a soothing voice. "There are just some things that I want to discuss, alone with him. I don't want to alarm you." "Daniela," Matt comes up and hugs her from behind. "Just let us talk for a few minutes. I promise that I'll be back." He kisses the side of her head and takes his place by my side. "So what do you want to talk about exactly?" He cocks an eyebrow at me. "The attack." Chapter 35, A Charlie's POV, Attack? Mike's attacking Charlie, breath. Connor tells me, "Don't let him get me. You can't let him get me again." I whisper, my voice hoarse. I keep flashing back to what he did to me. How close he got. Nothing is holding him back. He wouldn't stop this time. Shoo. Now none of that. No one's going to get you. I just got you back. No one's going to take you away from me now. I smile weakly at him. I don't want to cry now. I feel like if I do, it will be proof that bad things have happened to me. I don't know what to do. I sobbed into his chest. If he gets me, I don't know what he'll do. But if he does attack, so many people will die. One should die for me. You are, more or less, this pack's Luna. That means that anyone in this pack would take a bullet for you. Anyone would die for you. And anyone would fight for you. I know, but I'm not even sure I can be considered the Luna anymore. I mean, the Alpha and I aren't necessarily on speaking terms. I guess not. Connor lets out an amused chuckle. Can I meet this Ellie now? I ask excitedly. I need to evaluate her. I don't tell him this though because I'm sure he would get upset with me. Connor sighs and runs a hand through his hair, something he has been doing as a sign of aggravation since we were kids. I suppose so. He smiles slyly at me while I squeal like a child on Christmas. I follow a half a step behind him as he leads me to his room. His room. You two are sharing a room already? I raise an accusing eyebrow at the blush that forms on his cheeks. Yeah. He clears his throat nervously. He raises his hand to knock, but I've already barged in. My head whips around quizzically until my eyes land on a beautiful, petite blonde. She wasn't short, per se, she was just not as tall as she could be. She had long, elegant blonde hair that almost reached her waist. She had long, dark eyelashes and gorgeous blue eyes. Her thin, pink lips complemented her slightly pale complexion. She opens her mouth to say something, presumably some sort of greeting, but before she can get a word out, I have her engulfed in a huge hug. It's so good to finally meet you. My moron of a brother wouldn't let me near you. I turn to glare at my bewildered sibling before turning back to Ellie with a broad smile on my face. He thought I'd have a mental breakdown and scare you away. She laughed at that. It's nice to meet you too. I've heard a lot about you. Noticing my terrified expression, she quickly added, Good things. I sigh in relief. Out of the corner of my eye, I see Connor wink at her. Chapter 36, Cole's POV. The attack is scheduled for 3 days from today, according to Matt. That's 3 days to get Charlie to safety. 3 days to prepare the pack. 3 days to train. We need to start ASAP. I mind like the pack. Meeting room. Now. I have an essential announcement. I walk into the room. It's pretty intimidating, with oak paneling on all 4 walls and a vast fireplace standing proudly to the right. A small stage sits front and center, sporting a black podium. Rows of chairs line the room, almost like a theater. People start filing as I stand at the podium, waiting for a certain someone. I finally see her, one of the last to enter, walking with her brother and his mate. They appear to be getting along brilliantly. I smile as my mate laughs at something her brother says. She has the most amazing laugh, and smile, and eyes, and voice, and damn, I'm whipped. I look around, noticing that all the seats except for 4 are filled. Looks like we're all here. Usually, 5 seats are left vacant, but Ellie takes up one of those. Thank you all for attending this meeting. I'm sure you're all very curious as to why I have called you here today. As you all know, our Luna, Charlie, was recently taken and found. All eyes turned towards my mate, who was thoroughly ignoring everyone in the room. The one who took her, Mike Holloway, is planning an attack on us in 3 days' time. He was planning on taking us by surprise, so his numbers will be smaller than ours, but they have had longer to train. We must be prepared and get started right away. Today at 4 o'clock we will all meet back up here and divide so we can train accordingly. You are dismissed, thank you. Everyone in the room disperses except my mate, my beta, and his mate. Yes. I ask warily. I don't need to be yelled at or punished anymore. I'm not letting you hold me up in the safe house during this fight. Charlie bursts, looking at me expectantly. And you won't be. She smiles victoriously. You'll be staying with the Blue Moon Pack. I turn quickly so I don't have to see her enraged expression. You can't do this. I want to see that bastard die just as much as you do. There is no room for discussion. You will be attending training, but pack your bags. In 2 days you and Ellie will be leaving. What? Ellie cries out. Then she and Charlie speak at the same time. Connor. They look to him for help. He looks like a deer in headlights. I actually agree with Cole, he mumbles, looking away from them. What? They continue to talk in unison. They both then abruptly turn and storm off. Chapter 37, Charlie's POV. After receiving the link to go to the meeting room, we, Ellie, Connor, and I, slowly made our way to the place. We are some of the last to arrive. In my peripheral vision, I see Cole standing at the podium, smiling as I laugh at something Ellie had been saying. We quietly take 3 seats in the back. Cole clears his throat into the microphone. Thank you all for attending this meeting. I'm sure you're all very curious as to why I have called you here today. As you all know, our Luna, Charlie, was recently taken and found. Everyone's eyes snap to me while I investigate my nails, hoping they'll catch the hint and look away. The one who took her, Mike Holloway, is planning an attack on us in 3 days' time. He was planning on taking us by surprise, so his numbers will be smaller than ours, but they have had longer to train. We must be prepared and get started right away. Today at 4 o'clock we will all meet back up here and divide so we can train accordingly. You are dismissed, thank you. I turn to my brother and his mate. He's not going to let me fight, is he? They both grimly shake their heads at me. I sigh, knowing that I'll have to talk to him. I watch miserably as the crowd thins until the only ones left are the 3 of us. Cole eyes us carefully, obviously afraid that I might blow up on him again. Yes? He asks, equally wary. I'm not letting you hold me up in the safe house during this fight. I glare at him. And you won't be, I smile in victory. You'll be staying with the Blue Moon Pack. He turns his back on me, avoiding my red face. No, I'm not blushing. I'm pissed off. You can't do this. I want to see that bastard die just as much as you do. I defend myself. There is no room for discussion. You will be attending training, but pack your bags. In 2 days, you and Ellie will be leaving. I look sympathetically at Ellie. What? She cries, clearly just as pissed as I am to be excluded from the fight. We share a look, then cry Connor at the same time. He looks at us, the color draining from his face. I actually agree with Cole. He drops his voice, hoping we won't hear him. What? Ellie and I screech at the same time. Connor flinches but says nothing. Ellie turns on her heel and stomps off, and I follow suit. We both go back to my room. I flop down on my bed while she makes herself at home on my beanbag chair. Girls' night in. I ask after a few minutes of bored silence. She smiles widely at me. You read my mind. Time lapse. I can't believe that I've never seen that movie before, Ellie exclaimed as the end credits came on. Well, you do seem more of The Notebook kind of girl, so it doesn't surprise me, giggled Becca. It's my favorite movie, Ellie admitted sheepishly. Ellie had gotten the food and drinks. I had called up the girls and picked the movie. So now Kylie, Becca, Maxie, Ellie and I were holed up in my room. We had just finished watching The Avengers and were popping Spider-Man in when there was a knock at the door. Becca's long, black hair was thrown up in a messy bun and sagged slightly as she went to open the door. Her white tank top accented her pale skin and light blue eyes. She swung the door open, irritated, with a frustrated, "What? Is Charlie in there?" My mate's voice floats to me from the entryway. "She's busy," Maxie calls, throwing a pair of my rolled-up socks in the general direction of the wall. She misses and it ends up bouncing off the ceiling and hitting me in the forehead. "Max!" I cry, throwing a pillow at her. I hit her square in the face. "Whoops." I giggle. "Watch the hair." She cries. Right now, Max is sitting on the floor by my bed as Kylie attempts to braid her long red hair. She's the ginger version of Rapunzel. Kylie is seated cross-legged as Ellie kneels behind her, combing her reasonably long, brown hair into a classy bun. Ellie had done their makeup, too. A nice sparkly eyeshadow accented Kylie's big brown eyes. Her lips painted a pale pink. Max's large green eyes were bordered by heavy eyeliner and a dab of mascara. Her lips were painted a bright red. Needless to say, they were both gorgeous. Becca had profusely denied anything involving girly shit or glitter except unicorns, 'cause that shit rocks, I believe she put it. I had stuck with Becca, denying everyone's efforts to girly me. "Please, I really need to talk to her." "No can do, Mr. Alphaser. She's too busy looking at some shirtless dude." Becca began to close the door. Before the door was even 2 centimeters closed, Cole barged in, looking around until he found what he was looking for. True to her word, the movie paused at the part where Peter Parker is looking in the mirror without his shirt on. "Sup, bro?" I flash him a peace sign and throw a piece of popcorn at his face. He stares at me blankly before smiling cheerily at me. I give him a questioning look. "I have an important question for you." Chapter 38, Charlie's POV. You may proceed in said question. I encourage. "Charlie Winter, would you do me the honor and go on a date with me?" He smiles hopefully at me. "What?" I ask dumbly as all the girls squeal. Kylie smacks me on the back of the head. "He's trying to make it up to you." She scolds. "You told her?" Cole asks, looking petrified. "No. She's my best friend. She knows these things." I look at her. "What did you do to him while I was gone?" "You broke my mate." "What do you mean?" Kylie pouts at me. "Look at how scared he looks." I point to Cole only to find him smiling. "No. You ruined it. Wipe the cheesy smile off your face and look scared again." He laughs at me. "Off with his head." I cry, pointing at him. The terrified look returns. "Ha!" I laugh at him. Now back to business. Max looks to Cole. "When will this date be taking place?" "Tomorrow night?" He informs her, well, more like asking me. "Tomorrow night?" That's one day to get her ready. How could you give us such a little warning? We need the spa, the hairdresser, the salon, a gym, a crate load of makeup, and a dress. Ellie cries. "A dress?" The other girl echoes frantically. Ellie gives the girls various orders, telling them who to call, to check online and find the perfect dress, and so on. My eyes connect with a particular pair of green ones across the room. Cole smiles hopefully at me. I narrow my eyes into a deadly glare and mouth the words, "I'm going to kill you." I faintly smile to ease his nerves a little bit. "Hey, don't we have training in half an hour?" Becca pipes up. All attention snaps to her. I give her a grateful smile while the other girls glare daggers at her. "Yes, we do, and I expect to see you all there." Cole intervenes cheerily before exiting my room. "All right, well, this has been interesting and all, but get out." I push them all out of my room. They all look at me like I just killed their pet hamsters. I have to take a shower and get changed. I giggle at them and shut the door. I walk into the small bathroom attached to my room. I know what you are thinking. The description you are giving of this room does not match the description of the room at the beginning of the book. That's because it's a different room. All members of the pack who wish to do so have a room reserved in the pack house. Most mated couples have their own homes, so that's no big deal, and as more get houses, the more open rooms we have. We have 51 extra rooms on the ground and second floors. Lately, I have been sleeping in my pack room because I feel safer here. I mean, look at how easily Mike got into my room at my parents' house. I feel more secure in the blue and green room. The bed is gray with black stripes. A green sleeping bag sits in the corner by my blue dresser. The drawers are painted different shades of green. The closet door is just regular wood. There is a tiny bathroom in the far left corner of the room. All it contains is a toilet, a small mirror, a porcelain sink, and a 4-foot by 5-foot shower. The whole thing is white, with a few dark blue tiles on the floor. I take a 10-minute shower and throw on a neon pink sports bra, a gray workout tank, and some gray and pink shorts. I usually work out in my bra and some Spanx, but I don't think that Cole would approve of that with all the unmated boys around. I tie my hair up in a quick ponytail and head down to the training room. It's pretty much like your average gym with treadmills, walkers, weights, punching bags, and a large open section in the center. We usually do human hand-to-hand combat in the open space, then use the woods for our wolf training. Mostly, everyone is already assembled when I arrive. I go and stand by my friends, waiting for Cole to come in and instruct everyone present. All right, everyone. Will all children from ages 5 to 8 step over here? Cole instructed. All girls from ages 8 to 13 over here. All boys ages 8 to 13 over there. All girls 13 to 16 over there. All boys 13 to 16 over here. All girls 16 to 22 over there, and all boys 16 to 22 over that way. All females 22 to 31 over that way, and all males 22 to 31 over by the treadmills. Any female 31 and above, please step that way. And all males 31 and above step over there. He lets out a long breath as everyone moves toward the appropriate spot. Okay, everyone in the 5 to 8 sections, 8 to 13 sections, and 13 to 16 sections, you have been assigned a trainer. Please follow him or her outside. All the younger kids in the room exited through the door, all talking animatedly to each other. As for you all, everyone in the 22 to 31 and 31 and up groups have been assigned a trainer as well. Please follow him or her to a station. The older pack members dispersed to various stations throughout the gym. Now for you all. Cole smiled deviously at us. Boys, you're all mine. Girls, Martha will be dealing with you all. Now the reason I kept you behind is because I'm sure some of you girls feel it's sexist to divide girls and boys training sections. So I give you the opportunity to prove yourselves worthy of training with the boys. First, you must win against a fight against Martha. Then, you have to fight me and last 15 minutes. He grinned like a shark stalking its prey. Step up, ladies. Don't any of you want to fight for women's rights? Martha was the best fighter in the whole state. And Cole was an alpha. It was impossible. Except I don't seem to care because I step forward, a massive smile on my lips, my hand raised. I'll try. Chapter 39. Everyone turns to stare at me, though by now I'm pretty used to it. Charlie, I don't think this is a good dash. I cut Cole off with a deadly glare. So you give all the other girls our age in the pack a chance to do this, and yet, I'm excluded? That's not what I meant. I'm your mate, and this pack's Luna, and I don't have the same opportunities as the rest of the pack? I continue to prod him, using the mating angle as much as I can. Fine. But don't come crying to me when you lose. He smirked at my expression, and many of the boys in the crowd oed. Trust me, babe. I'm not going to be the one crying. I smile sweetly and make my way past him, purposely knocking into his shoulder on my way to a waiting Martha. We go through the usual protocol, the rules, regulations, stakes, and so on. Pretty much, once one wolf shows submission, they lose. We aren't allowed to kill our opponent because this isn't that kind of challenge. And no shifting at all. Connor? I call suddenly, thinking of something. Yeah? He replies warily, clearly scared of what I might ask of him. Hold him back. I tilt my head in Cole's direction and my brother's face lights up in realization. Connor makes his way over to Cole as they have a silent argument through the mind link. The referee blows his whistle and my head snaps up as the referee blows his whistle. The fight has begun. I wait there, bouncing on the balls of my feet. I was taught to let my opponent attack first so that they are vulnerable. Finally, she got impatient and lunged, attempting to swipe my feet from under me. I jump and land on her leg before she can do anything. She jerks her leg and I slip slightly. She goes to lunge for me, but I roll forward slightly so that she goes over me. As she passes by me, I kick my leg out above me, successfully hitting her ribs. She rolls to the ground and I realize something. Stop. I holler before we can get any deeper into the fight. Are you hurt? Cole questions frantically. No, but I'm going to hurt you. I want a fair fight. Break your alpha command on her before I break your neck. I narrow my eyes as he widens his. How'd you know? Cole asks sheepishly. The way she felt, the way you're not struggling, and the way she is in her head. I sigh and cross my arms. Now break the alpha command. As he seems to start to deny, I quickly add, or no date. He looks shell-shocked as he finally agrees. Fine, but you owe me something, but we'll discuss that later. From the mischievous look in his eyes, I conclude that I should be terrified of his little request. Whatever. I turn my attention back to Martha. Let's try this again. She smiles at me gratefully. We then begin again. She must pity me or something along those lines because she makes the first move again. Instead of tripping me, she pushes me. I take hold of her arms and try to pull her forward. She takes advantage of my moment of instability by sweeping my legs out from under me. To make it even, I wrap my legs around hers and pull forward, causing her to fall on top of me. I turn quickly so that she is under me. She raises her leg and pushes me off her. I quickly bend my arms and bounce back onto my feet. She swings her arm out, planning to hit my face, but I grab hold of her wrist and push backwards, making her stumble for a fraction of a second. She quickly regains balance and rushes toward me again. I twist my body at the last second, letting her blow past me, kicking my foot out behind me as she passes me. She falls onto her stomach, but as I charge her, she rolls into my legs, making me fall over her. She pulls my legs, letting my face fall into the mat. Bright white pain spreads from my nose and I feel blood slide down my face. She flips me and jumps on top of me, pinning my hands over my head. Smirking, she asks, "Done yet, princess?" Not even close. I chuckle. I pull my hand down forcefully, making her lose balance. She lets go of my hands, trying to break her fall with her own. I push on her stomach, forcing her backwards. She falls back, clearly winded. I jump onto her stomach, straddling her. I pinned her arms above her head, similar to what she had done to me. "Done yet, buttercup?" I smile, repeating her words. "Nope." She flips us over and goes to hit my face. I grab hold of her wrist before she can hit my face and push a pressure point. Her face contorts in pain. I hit a second one just above the inside of her elbow. Then I hit the final one by lightly tapping the side of her neck and knocking her out. I do all of this within 30 seconds. I push her now limp body off mine carefully. She'll wake up in a minute, but she won't remember much. I smile even though as I do so, the blood gushing from my nose stains my teeth. Two younger kids run up to her and carry her away, most likely to the infirmary. "Where did you learn to fight like that?" Connor asks, dumbfounded. "Moonshine Private School's Fighting Academy for Young Scholars." I giggle. Tyler's older sister was my instructor. "She was Elaine's most promising student," he mocks. "Though you seem to be losing your touch." He pretends to scold me. "Was? Am. And I can kick your butt anytime, anywhere." "Charlie, your nose." Cole's voice is hoarse, and I turn to see that he's still struggling against Connors's restraint. "Oh, please. She's had a lot worse than that with all the fights that she's gotten into." Tyler chuckles, and Cole flinches as I stick my tongue out at him. "Please, you know it's true." I roll my eyes at him. "So, when are we starting the second fight?" I smile at the perplexed crowd. Chapter 40, Cole's POV. It was hard enough watching Charlie fight someone else, and now I'm expected to do it. No fucking way. Never. "What?" she asks. "I'm not fighting you," I said as confidently as I could. "You're not expected to." I let out a breath of relief. "I'll fight Connor," she reasons. "What?" My beta and I question the union. "Well, if I can't fight the alpha, the beta is the next best thing, right?" "Charlie," I can't fight you. I won't be able to. Connor sounds torn, obviously wanting to please his sister but not wanting to hurt her. Who's the third in command? She asks, exasperated. That would be me. My new third in command, Mike's replacement, raises his hand. He's another one of my close friends, Rick. Fine, I'll fight Rick. She smiles at me. No, you won't. I glare in Rick's direction. He had just found his mate, but I still didn't want anyone that close to my mate. Cole, I need to fight someone. She takes on a thoughtful expression. Steven? Yeah? A voice answers warily. Steven. Daniela's older brother is one of our best warriors. Get your hindquarters up here so I can kick them. Such unfortunate choosing of words, little cows. Steven shakes his head. One stinking hour. My mate grumbles before turning back to me. Is this okay with you? I suppose as long as no one gets too hurt. I sighed in defeat, knowing that she would keep going down the list and probably cancel our date. I perk up slightly, remembering that I would get her all to myself for a night. Good, and I can't quite promise the second part. I might mangle his face pretty bad. Enough of this pointless, petty banter. Let the battle begin. Steven interjected in a terrible posh accent. As you wish. They both got into fighting stances and began bouncing on the balls of their feet. The ref blew his whistle and they were off, both charging at the same time. Steven dived right in, going to punch her face, while she ducked and went for his feet. I barely even notice Connor taking hold of my arms until Steven lands on the ground and swipes Charlie's feet out from under her as well, and I pull against him, desperate to help my mate. They land on top of each other, a mass of punching and pulling hair. What seems like an eternity later, Charlie wraps her legs around her cousin's waist, twists slightly to the left and squeezes hard. This forces him to release her arms, giving her an open invitation to punch his face and torso. I could tell that she went a little easy on him and appreciated it. He was one of my best fighters and we would need him come battle time. He finally regained leverage when he squeezed her calf and she pulled her leg back, clearly pained. He swings at her stomach and hits her. I growl at him and try my hardest to get out of Connor's restraint. But my wolf is only half into it because he knows that our mate wouldn't want us to get in the way of her fight. Charlie withdraws slightly, obviously in pain. She quickly makes up for it as her eyes begin to blaze. She lunges at him and he does the same, but before they can collide, she juts her foot out, kicking him right in the gut. He bends over in pain and she brings her elbow down onto his back. Steven falls to the floor and Charlie moves to straddle him. She punched him 19 times, I counted, before he finally gave in and showed submission. The crowd that we had accumulated roared with applause. Fine, you can train with the guys. I sigh and run a hand through my hair before turning back to my pack. We've wasted enough time, every and eat back to work. They all groan but go back to their appropriate places. I smile as Martha re-enters the room, appearing fine except for a bruise on her elbow. Martha, take your troops and teach them all that they need to know. She nods her head at me and takes the girls outside to an obstacle course she has set up for them. As for you boys, Charlie glares at me, so I quickly add, and girl, it's time to run laps around the territory. I hear a collective groan and add, 20 times, in wolf form. Chapter 41. Connor's POV. Watching Charlie fight was amazing. She was fast and skilled, and her reflexes were unmatched. I was worried that she had bit off more than she could chew when she started fighting Martha, but that pressure point thing was brilliant. Now we are doing laps. Cole is running at the back, encouraging the few stragglers, while I'm at the front doing the same. Charlie has been at my heels the whole time, clearly trying to outdo me. Every time that she speeds up, I cut in front of her, blocking her path. Now she speeds up again, but harder this time. Eventually, we are running neck to neck. Her wolf is a brown color that shines gold when it catches the light. Mine was a rich, chocolatey brown color. In my moment of distraction, she speeds up, knowing that we have one lap left. I growl in frustration and bark after her, speeding my strides up. She pushes harder and harder, and I find my breath getting shallower as we approach the end of the last lap. I push as hard as I can, and she beats me by about 30 seconds. I collapse at the finish, as does she. We are a good 3 minutes ahead of the others, so we trudge behind trees and change into the clothes we had tied around our legs. How did you do that? I ask her, still winded. Change? Oh, well, I put one leg through my dash. I cut her off. No, how did you beat me? I roll my eyes at her silly antics. I don't really know, I just let my mind go blank and relaxed. Then I just let my wolf go and pew, you were behind me. She uses large arm motions as she talks, making her look more like she is pretending to be an airplane than telling a story. The rest of the males reached us then, Cole leading again. Charlie covered her eyes and turned around as they all changed. She was mumbling some strange song that she probably made up. You can turn around now, Cole smirked, even though he was the only one not fully dressed, wearing only boxers. I hit him, scolding, that's my baby sister, man. Get dressed, Cole. Charlie sighs, clearly annoyed. Cole put on his shorts and Charlie turned back around. He smiled at her. How badly did he beat you? I beat him by like 30 seconds. Why? She smiles at his disbelieving expression. Man? He asks while I look away. Well, if you could beat my beta, then you'll love what I'm about to do. He smiles widely, turning back to the milling crowd of boys. Now we have to do the obstacle course. Every single one of the boys groans. But, if one of you races me and wins, you don't have to do as many as the others. Anyone want to try? Charlie steps forward, as do two boys. All right, we'll all go, and whoever finishes first, after 15 laps, wins. The other boys sag slightly, but Charlie perks up, clearly having some plan formulating between her ears. Chapter 42, Cole's POV. I wasn't the least bit surprised when Charlie stepped forward to compete against me. I'm planning to stay far ahead of her. Her wolf is just too damn sexy for me. Her coloring is so gorgeous, and her hips sway when she walks. I can't handle it. That's why I went back to help the stragglers. I'm sure Connor would kill me if he knew what I was thinking. We all get into our starting positions and we're off. The first 5 laps or so, Charlie kept her distance, but by the end of the 6th lap, she was only about 40 seconds behind. By the end of the 10th lap, she was at my heels. The other 2 boys were a good 2 minutes behind us. She didn't push herself, and I could feel that. She pushes a little harder so that by the 13th lap, we are neck and neck. At the end of the 15th lap, though, I push enough that she is at my heels again. We stayed like that until the end of the 15th lap, her behind me. I could see the finish line, 2 large oak trees with bleachers on either side. Then a whimper stops me in my tracks. Cole. She whimpers in my head. I stop dead in my tracks and turn, looking for danger. I close my eyes against the air that whips my eyes as a golden blur bolts past me and passes the finish line. I sat there for about 30 seconds before regaining my mind and running after her. She shifts behind a tree, as do I, and she walks into the clearing with a superior smile. That was cheating. I point an accusing finger at her, as winded as she is. No, it wasn't. She defends. I didn't make you turn around. I simply took advantage of my resources. Fine, you get to skip the obstacle course twice. I roll my eyes at her childlike pout. Maybe 3 times. She smiles in approval and moves to kiss my cheek. Of course, the other 2 boys come back at that moment, 2 panting, sweaty masses of fur. She laughs slightly at my enraged expression. That was pretty good for an unfair race. Good job, boys. Now go get changed and join the other boys at the obstacle course. I smile at her motherly tone. It's the one thing that all great lunars possess. The boys do as told and join the other boys, sitting one out to catch their breath and to see what they are being asked to do. I'll run you through the course. I tell Charlie. I explain it as quickly as possible. The course looks like something that you'd see in an army movie. The first thing was a massive rock wall. It stands at 30 feet and you had to climb up one side and down another. The next part was a tunnel wall. It was pretty self-explanatory. I was a wall filled with holes or tunnels that you had to climb through. Once you climb through that, you have to climb a net to reach a platform. To get to the other side of the platform, you have to climb one of the 4 available ropes, 20 feet up, over mud. Once you reach the other side, you have to crawl under a barbed wire net. That's just like the army movies. The last thing is that you have to climb up a 10-foot net that flips over if not balanced correctly. Once you reach the top, you have to ring a bell, signaling your finish. No one other than an alpha has ever finished in under 6 minutes. Use your passes whenever you wish. Oh, I don't plan to us them. I just wanted a chance to kick your ass. She giggles lightly and runs over to the beginning of the obstacle course. She quickly stretches her arms, and then she's off. She assesses the rock wall before going for an arm hold. She grabs on and hooks her foot into the lowest dent. She scrambles, going in a slight slant but still making incredible time. Her lightweight seems to give her an advantage. She only goes halfway down the opposite side of the rock wall before jumping down. The second her feet touch the ground, she bolts towards the tunnel wall. She practically jumps through and quickly scurries up the net. She gets lucky, for no one is at the ropes, so she hops on the first one she sees and shimmies along. She reaches the other side and jumps down. She army crawls under the wire, getting mud all over her attire. She jumps onto the second net, flipping it over. She still holds on despite being upside down. She climbs up to the top, not slipping once. Charlie maneuvers herself so that she lands on the platform, ringing the bell in the process. She does all this in minutes. 5 to be exact. Chapter 43, Charlie's POV. Come on. All we need to do is find you a dress, get your hair and nails done, and do your makeup. We only have 4 hours, so hurry up. Kylie and my friends continue torturing me. They push me into yet another boutique. This one is different from the other dozens that we had been to today. Instead of being all pink and feathers, this one was painted beige. The walls were adorned with gold-framed mirrors scattered here and there. Instead of slutty bright clothing, its racks were hung with elegant blacks and deep purples. Why are we here? Let's go to Katiana's, it's right next door. Ellie goes to pull me with her, but my eyes are already zoned in on something hanging across the shop. It's the perfect dress. It is white and appears strapless at first sight. But taking a closer look, you'll see that the neck of the dress is a lacy net material. Strewn across the bottom and the neck are sparkly gems. It's perfect. They all push me forward, forcing the dress into my hands and shoving me into a dressing room, ushering me to try on the dress. I quickly strip off my skinny jeans and floral blouse, tossing them to the floor. I slip the soft material of the dress gently over my head. It was the only dress of its kind in the store, and yet it fit perfectly. Maybe it was a little tighter than intended, but that can't be helped. It hugged my waist in a way that made it look smaller. The gems made my eyes pop and the lace gave it a classy look. It was exactly what I was looking for, and as I strutted out of the dressing room, I could tell the other girls knew that too. Their faces lit up when I twirled around them. They practically ripped the dress off me to pay for it quickly enough. Somewhere in all the confusion, someone had grabbed a pair of strappy white heels and bought those, too. Now for your nails. They squealed. They pulled me from place to place, forcing a French manicure onto me and then having a hairdresser force my unruly hair into a braided bun. A few lone tendrils fell around my face. Finally, after about 2 hours, we headed home. When we arrived home, it was 6:15, the date starts at 7. I was their pretty little Barbie doll for 45 minutes. The only thing we needed to do was dress me and do my makeup. They spent almost 15 minutes picking out the proper bra and underwear. Tonight, you'll need it, Kylie had said, sending me a wink. Finally, 5 minutes before Cole was supposed to show, they finished. The stranger in the mirror was gorgeous. My usually dull blue eyes popped out drastically thanks to the eyeliner they had applied. The sparkly silver eyeshadow I had on brought out the purple flecks in my eyes, and the light pink blush made my cheekbones look sharper and more prominent. The bright red lipstick they added at the last second was a startling contrast to the other neutral colors I wore. The few tendrils that framed my face softened my features enough that I still looked my age. As the girls were putting on the finishing touches, those included persuading me to stuff my bra with toilet paper and repeatedly asking me if I had enough protection. The doorbell rang. "I'll get it," I said, pushing past the girls. I opened the door with a relieved breath. That breath was stolen once I looked at Cole. He looked dashing. He wore black dress pants and a dark blue dress shirt. His hair was slightly damp, I assume, from a shower. And in his hand was a gorgeous bouquet of pink roses. I smiled smugly in my head as I saw he was just as breathless as I was. "You look, wow." He breathed, still dazed. "I could say the same for you." I giggled, working hard to keep my demeanor. These are for you." He seemed to struggle to get the words out, and as he awkwardly passed me the flowers, I laughed at how adorable he was. "Let's get going. If we don't, they'll harass us for pictures and act like it's freaking prom." I motioned to my friends, who were watching us like we were the new Twilight. He chuckled at me and hooked his arm through mine. As we approached his car, a sleek black Mercedes, he dropped my arm. I almost whimpered at the emptiness I felt until I realized he was opening the door for me. I smiled at him as I slid into the car. Maybe chivalry isn't dead after all. As he went around the car and sat in the driver's seat, he had a broad, smug smile adorning his face. "You know, cocky isn't a good look for you," I teased. He feigned hurt. How dare you? Everything is a good look on me. He spoke the second sentence in a startlingly female voice. I worry about you sometimes, you know. Ellie have suspicions about something going on between you and my brother. I try to suppress a giggle at his disgusted face. What? What? He continues to stutter over the words, making me let out a very unladylike snort. A few minutes of content silence surrounded us. I looked out the window and noticed the town getting replaced by forest, houses turning into trees. Where are we going? I asked curiously. Not much is out in the forest. Only a few sheds with some clothes for first-time shifters. When we were younger, before all the bad stuff, my brother Cole and I built a tree house out here. I hadn't visited it in years, it was probably torn down by now. It's a surprise. He grinned at me, knowing fully well how much I hated surprises. No fair. You have to tell me. I'll go mad if I don't know. I pleaded with him, sounding like a whiny child. You won't go mad. He chuckled. You'll find out soon enough. I sat there quietly, a pout on my face, arms crossed over my chest. Of course, my childish antics were long forgotten the second I saw what he had put together. Chapter 44. Cole's POV. My palms get sweaty as Charlie continues to pester me about the surprise. She looks so beautiful tonight. This is better work. I let Ellie help me set up the date. It seems like a good idea, but I can't keep the evil thoughts from entering my head. What if she doesn't like it? What if she hates it? What if she just doesn't like me? The anxiety was killing me from the inside out. She began to whine that she would go mad if I didn't tell her. You won't go mad. I chuckle at her childish behavior. You'll find out soon enough. She glares at me and dramatically slams her back into the seat. Then she put on this adorable pouty face, crossing her arms in front of her chest. I am so close to giving in that I almost give out a sigh of relief at the approaching clearing. I hear her gasp and look over at her, pleased with her wide eyes and gaping mouth. Ellie had decided that a romantic picnic dinner would be the perfect date for Charlie and me. I had picked out the location of the dinner, however. It was our old tree house, but tonight it looked a lot better. Fairy lights were strung along the branches of the nearby trees, and all the leaves and underbrush had been raked away from the forest floor, creating a circular clearing. A red plaid picnic blanket sat in the middle, complete with a rose in a vase and a waiting picnic basket. The dazzling smile that spread across her face was enough to make me fall in love with her a little more. Yes, over the past couple of days I had admitted to myself that I loved her. Now, all that needed to be done was to admit it to her. I quickly rush out of the car, using her dazed state to my advantage, and open her door before she has the chance to. Thank you. She smiles, suddenly seeming shy. I try not to take too much pride in knowing that I have such an effect on her. You are quite welcome. Can we, not talk like we belong in a crappy romance movie? I suppose I don't have that strong of an effect on her. Whatever you want. We both walk over to the picnic blanket and awkwardly sit down. After a long moment of silence, she speaks. So, did you plan all this by yourself? She gestures to our surroundings. Ellie planned the scenery, the rest was me. I even planned our topic of conversation for the night. Is that so? I nod my head. And what might this topic of conversation be? I'm going to get to know you better. I say confidently. 20 questions? How about 50? She shrugs her shoulders. But first, let's start dinner. I open the exceptionally large picnic basket and bring out the dishes. The choice of food was so difficult. I ended up picking spaghetti and garlic bread. First question, go. She instructs, placing a piece of garlic bread into her delectable mouth. For a moment I am sidetracked. Favorite color, and why? Blue, because it brings a positive connotation with it. She smiles, her mind caught away in a memory. When I see it, I think of the ocean. I remember this one time Mom and Dad got Connor and I all dressed up to go to the beach. I was in this really pretty blue sundress and Connor was all dressed up in his nicest dress shirt and all that. Well, we were supposed to be taking pictures, and for a while that's what we did. Then, like an hour after we got there, Dad ran into an old friend and Mom had to go to the bathroom, so Connor and I, keep in mind that we were only 6 and 7, decided to build a sandcastle. It was absolutely disastrous. She laughs at the memory. It took us almost 20 minutes to actually get some sort of structure, but then we needed a flag. I had this really big stick and it was the only one we could find, and every leaf we found looked way too small, so Connor had the brilliant idea to use his pants. No. He stuck them to the stick using the belt loops. She sighs. So what's your favorite color and why? Green. And my why is almost the same, except instead of the ocean, I think of the forest. She makes a gesture, urging me on, as she takes a bite of her spaghetti. Well, the forest has always sort of been a symbol of freedom for me. It's where all the big events in my life have happened, not including you, and it's where most of my time is spent. I feel like I actually belong here, like my human side and my wolf side get along better in the woods. Wow. She looks at me. I know, pretty stupid, huh? I rub my neck awkwardly, embarrassed that I had even said that. I should have gone with black. That's a typical guy's answer. Not what I meant. I mean, you went all deep, you have a gorgeous reason to love the color green while I'm over here talking about my brother stripping. She laughs. My reason isn't beautiful, you aren't involved in it. And it's true. She is so beautiful in every way. She is one of the strongest people I have ever met and will ever meet. She looks at me and I can't help but lean over and kiss her. I was expecting her to pull away, but she dives right in. Her hands meet at the back of my neck, while mine meet at her waist. I lean us both back on the blanket, careful to keep my weight off of her. We both break apart, desperate for breath, and I decide to keep the game going. Favorite food? She kisses me again and breathlessly replies, watermelon you? I'm tempted to say you. I chuckle as she blushes. But I guess that wouldn't be too acceptable, so pudding. She laughs as I lightly run my lips down her throat. That's not a food. Yes, it is. I say defensively. And it happens to be the best food on earth. She just shakes her head at me and touches her lips to my cheek. Favorite season? Summer. And that's how we went on asking pointless questions and making out. I pull back, breathless. I love you. She laughs at me. No, I mean I really love you. With everything in me, I love you. I love your smile, your laugh, your eyes, but your looks only have a little part in my loving you. I have never and will never meet a person, wolf and human alike, as wholeheartedly stubborn, clever, strong, brave, or breathtakingly gorgeous as you. Rejecting you was a mistake. A big mistake. One of the biggest mistakes I've ever made. I love you, too. I open my mouth to tell her not to say it, but she cuts me off. And I'm not saying that to say that. I mean it, this whole let's make the other person jealous by seeing who can be a bigger whore thing is so incredibly stupid. I'm sorry and I love you. I smile and kiss her, mumbling, I love you, Charlie. I love you so much. She goes to answer me when I pull away, Connor's voice invading my head. Cole? What? I growl, frustrated. I had specifically told everyone to leave me alone tonight. Mike showed up early. His army just reached the border and they're plowing through our warriors. Chapter 45, Charlie's POV. If I weren't in a state of semi-shock, I would be crying. Mike's here. Mike's here. Mike's here. Mike's here. The thought continued to run through my head as if on replay. And what was worse, my pack would be fighting for me when I wouldn't be allowed to fight myself. The second I arrived, Ellie crushed me into an enormous hug, pulling me out of my reverie. That's where I am now with Ellie, packing to go to the safe house. We were pretty much grabbing and throwing whatever we could into our suitcases. I know I had been upset about being forced to go to the safe house, but I decided that Cole had enough to stress about without me adding to the heap. I grab another shirt, stuff it into the overflowing suitcase, and decide I have enough stuff to last me for a little while. Rushing down the stairs, I call for Ellie. Together, we make our way out of the house and to the car where two guards are already waiting for us. Luna Beta, the younger of the two, greets. I'm pretty sure his name is Jared. Hello, Jared. Ellie greets him. The other man was an older wolf. I did not know his name and he seemed scary enough for me not to ask. We climb into the car and I frown, smelling something odd. Hey, Ellie, do you smell anything? She stops to sniff the air. No. I guess we can go then. As we drive towards the safe house, located along the perimeter of a nearby pack territory, the smell gets farther away. When we are about 2 or 3 miles from the house, the smell returns. Ellie, I smell it. Jared. Rogues. I'm mind-linking ... The car is slammed into and knocked over by a heavy force. A rogue. The car starts to turn as the wolf rolls it with its snout rapidly. Ellie, I scream, desperately needing to hear her voice, to know that she is okay. Fine. Are you two okay? I refer to the guards, but I am met with nothing. When the rolling finally stops, I look around to find both guards unmoving. The glass from the windshield is stuck into their bodies at random intervals. My mouth opens and closes in shock, nothing coming out of it. The car is slammed into again, and I scream. I hear Ellie scream as well, but it sounds too far away. Looking up, I see that a large rogue has Ellie in his mouth. My terror soon turns into anger and I growl. My wolf side soon takes over and I shift, lunging at the wolf. He yelps, clearly not expecting my sudden attack. He drops Ellie and lunges for my neck. I dodge and instead lunge at his abdomen. Ellie soon shifts into her blonde wolf and finishes the trapped wolf off. Shifting back, we both look around in horror. I broke down into sobs, terrified at the fact that I had killed someone. Maybe it was indirectly, but someone left the world because of me. Shh, sweetie. They won't bother us anymore. Ellie's attempts at soothing me only made me cry harder. How can you be so okay with killing someone? I'm not. But I know that if I hadn't killed the man, he would have killed the both of us. I scoff. As if Mike would let him kill me. I wish he would let them kill me. You don't mean that. I shake my head and remove myself from my previous position, huddle against Ellie, and go in search of my suitcase. We need a change of clothes. I tell Ellie. Charlotte Skye, both your mate and mine told us to stay away from that fight. Since when have we done what we're told? I raise an inquisitive eyebrow at her. She sighs and shakes her head at me. Let's find our bags and something to wear. The action proved harder said than done, for our bags had burst, and clothes were strewn everywhere. I just grabbed the first shirt and pair of pants I saw, anything to not walk around completely naked. Remember, something we can move around in. I called Ellie, who was going through her bag. I had a gray pair of athletic shorts and a black workout tank in hand. We were going to shift and run there in our wolf forms, then change about a mile from the battle. This way, our scents would not be as strong as they would be in our wolf forms. We're good, let's go. Ellie's voice holds a certain amount of urgency. What's happening? I can feel Connor's worrying and fear. Something bad is happening. Her voice trembles. Then let's go help them. Together, we shift and push the wreckage aside, trying our hardest not to look at the bodies of the guards. Luckily, the rogue had fallen far enough into the woods that all we had to do was move a large branch over him to conceal him. I bark at Ellie, asking her if she's ready. She nods her large wolf head, and we take off into the woods. The feeling of twigs and pine needles whacking at my skin is numbed by the racing thoughts shooting through my head. I know that Cole is blocking his emotions from me. He is trying to keep me from worrying too much. Only powerful wolves like alphas can hide their emotions from their mates. But why would he have to hide his feelings from me? Are things really that bad? Well, it looks like we'll be finding out soon enough. Can you hear me? I ask Ellie through MindLink. Yeah. Should we stop here? I can hear the fight already. She replies. We should play it safe. Shifting quickly, we both change into our clothes. Even though our wolf forms are faster, our human forms can run about 4 times faster than the average human. The field is a mess. Blood and fur and bodies are strewn across the ground. Disappointedly, the fight seems to be going evenly for both sides. The rogues are pretty easy to distinguish from the wolves of my pack. While our coats are nicely groomed, theirs are matted and dirty from overuse. You need to take care of your human form and not spend too long in wolf form to keep your fur looking clean. Cole is also not particularly difficult to spot. His large brown wolf stands out against the small, dull wolves surrounding the area. Quickly scanning the area, I caught sight of Connor helping a younger wolf fight off 2 larger opponents. Ty sinking his teeth into a rogue neck, and Kylie dashing off to help some older wolves. Mike was nowhere to be found. As Ellie and I step onto the battlefield, I can feel the atmosphere shift. Everyone knows that we are here. What the hell are you doing here? Cole's angry voice fills my head, making me flinch. I glance beside me and see Ellie biting her lip. Clearly, Connor is saying something along the same lines. I'm here to help. I tell him. Where are your guards? Why would they let you anywhere near the fight? A rogue hit the car. They died in the crash. My voice trembles slightly. And the rogue? His voice is softer than it was. I did what I had to do. My voice is stern like a steel door keeping him out. Charlie, I'm so. His sentence is cut off, and so is my breath. I look up in sudden shock as a large, dull, brown wolf tackles my mate to the floor. Suddenly, all I see is red, and I let out a growl, the sheer power of the noise making every wolf on the field flinch. I go to shift to help my mate, but suddenly a rogue in human form is in front of me. "Well, hello there, little girl." He gives me a wide grin, showing off his decaying teeth. "Wanna play?" I open my mouth as if to answer him, instead lunging at him. This catches him off guard, and he loses his balance. I am not proud to say that I have killed, so I'm going to try to refrain from doing it again. I quickly hit him in the head with as much force as I possibly could, knocking him unconscious for at least a few hours. Hopefully, this will all be over by then. Rogues continue to bombard me, each ending up with the same fate. The whole time, I have been watching Cole out of the very corner of my eye. He had gotten back to his feet a moment after he was knocked down and had quickly taken down the wolf who had lunged at him. He seemed to be the primary target for attack because at least 3 wolves crowded him at all times. He seemed to be having no trouble, though. Limp bodies and blood were spread out across the grass around him. Finally, having a moment between fights, I take a deep breath. As usual, my relaxing moments are just those moments. "Charlie," a desperate voice calls out to me, more familiar than my own. Without even thinking, I am searching the battlefield for him. Ty had been relatively vacant the last few weeks. I could tell he was even more shaken up from my kidnapping than I was. And he found no amusement in the way Cole and I treated each other, him not having a mate and all. There. He was shifting back into his wolf form as a wolf at least twice as large as his own charged at him. I gasp as Ty falls backwards, leaving himself vulnerable. Luckily, he twists himself just in time to soften the blow. I try to make my way over to him as quickly as possible, but am continually stopped by rogues. If anybody is listening, please let somebody be listening. Ty needs help. Please. My mind link goes out to everyone who's listening. I got it, sis. Connor's voice brings a brief wave of relief as I finally get close enough to Ty. The battle looks intense. Blood has matted both wolves' fur, and both appear to be furious. I watch in horror as the wolf pins Ty down. I start sprinting as fast as I can, knowing that shifting will only make the wolf work faster. The regrets of my decision settle in as the wolf sinks its teeth into Tyler's neck. A strangled scream escapes my lips. No. I am about to shift when a particular brown wolf tackles the rogue to the ground and away from Ty. I sprint faster than I ever have to my best friend's side. He is shifted and he lies there, soaked in blood in all his naked glory. Ty! 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 I start to sob at the sight of the blood flowing from his neck. "Shoo, I'm okay. Just a little scratch." I let out a mixture of a sob and a laugh. "Charlie, you know I love you, right? You've been my best friend for only 2 years, but it feels like so much longer. I could never ask for any and better. Please stop talking like that. Stop talking like this is goodbye. This isn't goodbye. I'll be watching you and your children. Please don't be too loud when making them." He stops to cough, successfully spitting up blood. "I just want you to know how much I have cherished you. Thank you so much for such a wonderful life." His words gradually get softer until they are nothing but a whisper. "No. Ty, please don't." I shake him. A weak, "I'm sorry," escapes his lips. "No, I'm sorry. I love you, Ty. You've done so much for me and I wasn't here. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry." Images flash through my mind. I'm taking Ty bowling for the first time. We are getting kicked out of the arcade. I broke down and told him about my life. He told me about the human girl who had broken his heart. We are harassing strangers at the mall. Our random parties are on Tuesday nights. Playing Truth or Dare every 3 weekends. Pranking our teachers once every month and ruining picture day for everyone we hate. Ty. I plant a careful kiss on his forehead before standing up. My eyes lock onto the rogue fighting my brother. He did this. He is the reason my best friend has left this world. This wolf is a talented soldier. He had taken down Ty, who was in the top 10 fighters at school. There were nearly 1,000 students in that school. Connor is preoccupied. I look around and see Ellie in her wolf form underneath a skinny blonde wolf. Just as I am about to help her, she gets the upper hand and finishes the wolf off. I turn back to Connor just in time to see him knocked down by the rogue. Looks like I'm not the only one who was watching Ellie. Connor's body goes limp, but I can still hear his heart. Too strong to be dying, but too weak to be healthy. Again, my vision goes red and I am overcome by rage. Not my brother too, you filthy mutt. I launch myself off the ground, landing on the wolf's back. He starts to trash beneath me, but my grip is steady. Screw my no-killing rule. I place my hands around his neck and start to squeeze. His trashing gradually gets weaker, and I finally finish him off by snapping his neck to the side. At some point during my interaction with the rogue, Ellie had rushed over to Connor's still limp body. Is he? I trail off, my voice wavering. He's alive, but I think he's knocked out. I mind-linked the doctor and he had me check a few things. He might be in a coma. Her voice held the relief of what didn't go as badly as it could have, but the worry of what didn't go as well as we had all hoped. Suddenly, something out of the corner of my eye catches my attention. A lone blonde figure stands at the edge of the battlefield, his green eyes dancing over the fighting wolves and skidding to a halt at me. He smiles, the type of smile I'd imagine a snake would have as it stalks its prey. I'm going to go help someone. You take care of him, get him to the safe house if you can. Just make sure you don't get hurt. I directed my words to Ellie quickly before bolting off in the direction I had seen Mike. This is why I didn't want to shift. I knew that I would have to face Mike, and I didn't want him to be too alert, so being in human form would only make sense. Shifting meant no clothes. It's not the most brilliant idea when faced with you being a love-struck stalker. I reached the spot where Mike had been, and unsurprisingly, he had moved while I was distracted. His scent was recent and distinct, making it easy to follow. He was a short distance away in the middle of a clearing. Charlotte, how nice of you to join me. His voice sends shivers down my spine. It's not quite by choice. I'd watch the pretty little mouth of yours. He snaps, his eyes going dark. Mike, you can stop this. All this pain and misery and suffering. Call off the wolves, go find your mate, make a compromise with Cole. I don't ever want to hear his name from your mouth. He takes a threatening step forward. He is my mate, and if I wish to say his name, then I will. A vicious growl escapes his lips. He is not your mate. And the fight begins. I launch at him as he launches at me. I land on top and immediately start clawing at his eyes. He cries out and flips us over, holding my hands above my head. Well, don't I like this position? He smiles at me, leaning in far too close for my comfort. Looks like you're the only one. The voice of my knight in shining armor sneers. Suddenly, the weight that was on me is off, and he and Cole are struggling on the floor. It was so vicious that it was difficult to see what was happening. A kick here, a punch there. The outcome, however, was inevitable. Finally, Mike's limp body hits the floor. I rush into Cole's arms, feeling like I am in a dream. It's over, it's all finally over. My true happily ever after can finally start. I can't believe it. I am in shock. We both stumble to the battlefield, clearly shocked. The fight is practically over, only a few rogues remain alive. Our pack stands all wide grins and proud faces in front of the pack house. I love you. I tell my mate. I love you too. He tells me. Epilogue, third-person point of view. The large field was full of flowers, happy faces, and a sense of fulfillment. Everyone on the property was happy and calm except the bride and groom. These two were worrying over nothing and bringing great amusement to their friends. Man, what am I supposed to be doing? What am I doing? I don't know. I'm freaking out. Tell me what I'm doing. You're straightening your tie, then you're getting married. The best man was probably one of the calmest in the situation as he kicked back, crossed his legs, and brought a glass to his lips. Should I be doing this? Fixing his tie as he was told, the groom looked at his best friend, sitting on the couch, seeming quite entertained in the mirror. That's not an opinion I get to have. But if you cancel now, there will be a damn big, angry mob banging on your doorstep, and I might just have to break out my own torch and pitchfork. You're right. I love her. My God, I love her. How is she? I bet she's not even worried. I'm overreacting. Am I really getting married? Eyes wide and breathing heavy, the bride put a hand on her stomach. Oh my God. I'm really getting married. I can't get married. But I love him. I think my dress is too tight. I'm totally not getting enough oxygen. I can't breathe. I'm going to faint and dash dot. Feeling a light tap on her cheek, she stopped talking and looked up. Hey, no backing out now. I'm pretty sure every person here, including me, would be in line waiting for your head on a stick. Giggling lightly, the maid of honor brought a hand up to her dearest friend's face. Your love for him is almost as strong as his love for you. This is happening. You're getting married. Right? Married. Me. This is happening. Smiling and straightening her veil, she took a deep breath. I'm sure he's perfectly calm anyway. I'm so stupid. I love him. I love him. Charlie. Connor. His little sister, dressed in the most gorgeous white dress he'd ever seen, wrapped her arms around his neck and held on tight. You look gorgeous, Char. Taking a step back, he evaluated her with the most loving expression even Ellie had ever seen him give anyone but her. So, Mr. Best Man, how's he doing? Charlie's voice was meant to be light-hearted and joking, but her nervousness and anxiety still slipped their way into the lining of her words. He's freaking out almost as badly as you are. Smirking at his sister's expression, he shook his head. But he's happy. He's excited about marrying you. Though I can't see why. Shut up, you buffoon. You're making her worse. Kylie, looking gorgeous, gently shoved Connor. Watch it, pup. My sister might like you enough to make you her maid of honor, but I can't say I do. They both rolled their eyes at each other. There had always been a mutual friendship there. All right. Now. Charlie needed a moment to herself. An empty room. Okay, we're doing this. And we're damn happy about it. It was difficult not to think back on all the sorrow and happiness and loss and gain she'd felt over the years of her life. The battles she'd fought and the people she'd met. We're doing this. Cole's mind was on the same memories as Charlie's. Both showed the kind of happiness that few people had. Both were so excited they were scared, and both were ready to start a new type of life with their friends, finally. The sun was bright and beautiful as Cole took his place on the altar. The things running through his mind were less than necessary, but he was trying not to pee his pants. It had been almost a year since the battle. The pack had healed. Most of the wolves that belonged to Ellie's prior pack had moved in with Cole's and Charlie's. Speaking of Ellie, she had practically forced the couple to let her plan the wedding. At that moment, she became a demonic queen and worked every single person so hard that they threw a party once all the arrangements were made. He couldn't suppress a smile thinking of the time that Connor had fallen asleep on the job. Typically, Ellie would have woken him up and demanded he work into the night, but her mate was a different story. She covered him in bows. In lacy, bedazzled, pink, purple, and white bows that were supposed to be used for the party favors. Honestly, the pack had never seen a person so red. Charlie's parents had gone back to Paris, claiming that it's home to us. But Charlie wasn't as affected by the occurrence as anyone thought she'd be. She seemed almost relieved to have two fewer people to worry about. Her parents were here now, though, fresh off the plane and looking tired. Charlie was not supposed to be where she was. She was sneaking a peek at the crowd and her true love, and if she got caught, Ellie would beat her with a stick. But looking at her pack and her friends and her family, she smiled. She smiled even bigger as she looked at her brother, standing all stiff and serious. But a sister knows, and she saw the way he clenched his fingers and twitched his nose, clear signs that he was fighting the urge to fidget. The wedding was one of the most beautiful anyone there had ever seen, and they were getting anxious to see the bride, who would make this whole thing worth it. That's why when the music started playing, everyone was already waiting. She was stunning. Her dress was lacy and clinched at the bodice, with an elegant flow to the skirt. There aren't enough words to describe it. Charlie's long hair was pinned up in a gorgeous mass of curls. Perhaps the only thing brighter than her smile was Cole's. I could tell you every detail about that day. I could recite every word from the reception and tell you what flavor the cake was. But to be honest, all they remembered were the vows, the kiss, the dancing, and each other. Apparently, being an idiot is a habit of mine. It was a bad joke, but everyone still found it amusing. But I am so happy I decided to be smart enough to love you. I am so happy I've gotten to love you. One day I might forget the battles, forget the friends, forget the world, but I promise you, swear to you that I will remember you. You are my sanity and I love you. I love you so much that it practically hurts. I want to tell you the alpha had a cocky grin on his face. I can't. He didn't. He cried. So did everyone else, so it was acceptable. Not many people get to have this. Not many people get to see what I've seen. Not many people are marrying the biggest jerk they've ever met. I get to say I am. I get to say that I have a love that no one else does. Cole, life is different when you're in it. Maybe we were wrong. We've said things. done things not worth doing. But through it all I love you. Like nothing anyone's ever experienced before. I love you. There was a kiss somewhere after that. And the dancing, everyone danced. Ellie and Connor were so serious and competitive that I don't think one person got away without having their shins kicked or their feet stepped on. Kylie and Andrew danced right alongside Nick, Becca, Ben, and Max. Becca kept pulling Ben's hair and blaming it on Andrew, and Andrew kept kicking Max and blaming it on Becca. It all faded away when Charlie and Cole danced. Their movements were live on land, and their minds were somewhere else. 4 years ago, that was 8 years ago, it all started. Now they told the story to their newborn, to their child, to their daughter, to Victoria. Their mistakes brought them together. This is where their story ends, but with the end of one story comes the beginning of another.